Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rokenjima Island. Today we are reading more of Umineko's third episode. We left off last time after a certain character's coronation into witchhood. It was very weird. I don't know what's going on with that, truly and honestly. It's a very strange plot development, and much like Battler has with the magic battle earlier in the episode, I have chosen to ignore it until it directly becomes part of the murder plot, which will probably happen very soon. So that's where we're at with that, and we are going to get started very soon. But first, I'd like to remind everybody watching that on Friday, there will be a very special 12-hour stream celebrating my 2-year VTuber anniversary. It will be a subathon with special goals that you can find on Twitter. I've pinned it. It's a pinned tweet. It is an image and it has all of the subathon goals. It'll be very fun. I'll also post it again on Twitter tomorrow, and when the stream starts on Friday, I will elaborate upon each goal, what each entails. Some of them are more complicated than others. It'll be very fun. I hope you'll all be there. In the meantime, let's get started with more Umineko. I'm excited to see how this plot develops. It'll be very intriguing and also probably very funny. Because that's how we like it here. That's how we like it here on Rokenjima Island. Pyropoyo has subscribed and says, trans rights. So true. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining the stream. So this is right after the coronation scene. This is literally where I left off last time, is immediately after that very strange coronation scene. You've never seen the earlier episodes of this? Are you good to lurk here? You might be a little lost. Many things have happened in these 3 episodes, but I don't know, maybe you... I hope you could enjoy it. I think there's a lot of things that happen that are very strange. If you're concerned with spoilers, then that's probably going to be a problem, because I would say I don't have a huge sense of where the other 4.5 episodes are going to go, but I would say we're in the real Umineko now, quote unquote, the real Umineko, where things start getting very crazy very fast. So if you wanted to perhaps read Umineko on your own time, I would say if you haven't been here from the beginning and you're concerned with spoilers, you'll either be very lost or very spoiled. So, yeah, that's where I would say we're at. Rosa returned to the lobby. It was still her turn to rest, but her expression made it look as though she couldn't sleep deeply with all this tension. Oh, that's right, Rosa was one of the people who... She and Eva found the treasure, it wasn't just Eva. It's pretty crazy, so, I mean, if you just want some funny times, then stick around.
後で答えるぜ。
ありがとう。どうしても寝つけなくて。シャワーだけ浴びさせてもらったから、私はもう十分よ。次の人、休んでもいいわ。キリエさんたちはいかがですか？どうする？
Everybody's very tired, but none of them wants to sleep. Oh, that's right. I forgot. They had 4 Winchesters. Everybody gets a gun. Everybody's very stubborn about sleeping.
本当に仲のおよろしいことで。 夏日さんこそね。
I know, it's very funny to me that Kinzo had not just 1, but 4 replicas of a very specific model of Winchester from a cowboy show from, like, the 50s. Like, one, I get it. He's a Westaboo. He collects this sort of thing. It's his hobby. Why four? What did he need four for? That was a bit of an awkward sentence. Why did he need four?
やはりローザと違い、年には勝てんね。
As though in response to those words, the door to the hall clunked open. Eva and Hideyoshi returned from the guest room.
余計なお世話よ。あらローザ。
Oh,
休んでなくていいの？姉さんこそ。
It's like every Resident Evil fan wants to own a Red 9. Yeah, but like I said, I can understand one. I can understand wanting one Red 9. Why would you need 4 identical Red 9s that are the exact model from Resident Evil 4, you know?
無理しないで休んでたら？
What do you need? I guess when you're this rich, whatever, right?
なんだか寝つけなくてね。
Why not spring for the extra?
シャワーを浴びたら眠気が覚めちゃったわ。ルドルフたち、よかったら休んでいいわよ。
おう、サンキュー。
Thank you.
今は気持ちだけでいいぜ。兄貴たち、先に休んだらどうだ？ありがたいね。だが先に休むわけにはいかん。
They're always doing this. They're arguing over who should rest first. That's the most I can do as a man. That's the most I can do as a woman. This is the most I can do as an older brother.
私たちは最後まで起きていますので、ご心配なく。
Yeah, it's like a funny debate.
それよりエヴァ姉さん、大丈夫？少し顔色が悪いわ。
そういや、そうやな。ちょいと熱っぽいで。
Hideyoshi put his hand up against Eva's forehead. It seemed that Eva wasn't feeling her best.
言わんこっちゃねえ。年のくせに生活リズムを崩すからだぜ。風邪か？ 夏日、上野南條先生を呼んできてくれんかね。
Gosh, I just don't know what could be making Eva feel bad.
はい。いいわ、そこまで大げさじゃない。
It's not like her inner child that I thought was just a metaphor, but is actually a real and separate character became a witch. It's a lot. It's a lot right now.
常備薬は持ってるから大丈夫よ。疲れるとすぐ熱
It's a lot. There's a lot going on.
心配しないで。姉さん、無理しないで。ありがとう。私抜きで兄弟が集まってると、私の陰口でも言われてるような気がしちゃってね。
Yeah, I know. Umineko doesn't have subtext. It's all just text. Everything is real and happening all the time.
ごめんね。私は何も言わないわよ。姉さんのいないところで、姉さんの嫌な。
Yes, Rosa would never. Oh my goodness. Rosa's so pure-hearted. She would never do such bad things.
どうしたの？姉さん、さっきから変よ。もう少し休んだら？そうね。3月までの金策を考えたら、頭痛がひどくなってきちゃったわ。
We're dropping some hints. Very subtle. Very subtle, Eva.
休んでて。姉さんの頭痛がひどくならないよう、私も実調してるわ。私だって頭痛、さっきから辛いし。ありがとう。じゃあ私、お言葉に甘えて、もう少し休ませてもらうわね。
She fades out. That means she's going to bed.
急にへそ曲げて。すまんな。わしらもうちょい休ませてもらうわ。すまんな。すまんな。
After apologizing several times as though praying, Hideyoshi followed Eva out of the lobby. Hideyoshi is one of the only normal characters here. Him and Goda and Nanjo.
空気が悪いな。どうにもギスギスしている。
無理もない。早朝に殺人事件。
True, murders tend to be a little uprooting. Did everybody see? Speaking of murders on an island, did everybody see the trailer for the new Knives Out movie? I'm very excited. I love the first one.
ストレスが溜まって当然ね。上の子たちもだいぶストレスが溜まってるんじゃないかしら。
I love the actor as what is it, Benoit Blanc, the detective.
こういう時は感触を起こしやすいの。
At that moment, they heard the sound of wild footsteps coming from the second floor. Daniel Craig, that was it. That's the actor. I love Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc. The guest house wasn't a cheap building, so they wouldn't normally have heard the sound of footsteps. It was like the sound of someone stamping their feet in frustration, and an instant later, accompanied by what seemed to be the sound of her running out into the second floor hallway, they could hear Maria calling, "Ooh, ooh, ooh," over and over again, sounding displeased. Speak of the devil. Rosa grabbed her head, her hair flying, and she voicelessly moaned in anguish. The adults conscientiously turned their backs to her, pretending not to notice. What a great mom, where she hears her child crying and just goes and just does this. Wonderful parenting. The noisy clamor came down from the second floor and flew into the lobby. It was Maria who was sobbing along with the other children and Nanjo. In other words, they had all come downstairs because of Maria's tantrum. Rosa couldn't hide her dizziness at this new annoyance her daughter was bringing to everyone.
ごめんローザおばさん。私たちもなだめたんだけど、どうしても聞
Oh
いてくれ
boy,
なくて。
I sure hope this doesn't lead to any public instances of abuse no one will stop. God, it's been a while since we've seen our main cast. You know, the kids. I guess all of these characters are kind of main cast, though. I think episodes 1 and 2 just really gave me the impression, like, the main cast is, like, Battler, George, Jessica, and Maria.
どうしたのマリア。少し静かにしなさい。
And Shannon and Canon, too, to a lesser extent.
みんな見てるわよ。
例のバラ庭園のマリアのバラ。あれが急に心配だと言い出して。
Oh, right, the rose. We forgot about the
寝ぼけたみた
rose.
いなんです。急にガバッと起き出して、バラが心配だ、バラが心配だって言い出して。
The one Beatrice fixed earlier in the
Maria-chan.
episode, and she gave it, like, a
落ち着い
little
て。
golden lace to identify it
そ
with.
れは夢なんだよ。
That was this episode, right? It's some parts like that tend to blur together because, yeah, in episode 2, she showed the rose to Rosa. Beatrice did. Rosa didn't see Beatrice in this one. I remember now. The cycles are kind of blending together. At least the parts that repeat, like the rose in the garden, the going to the beach with Shannon. Oh boy, Rosa moments. Impending. The sudden rise in the tone of Rosa's voice surprised the children, but Maria's crying just grew louder and her tantrum just grew fiercer.
ローザさん、子供を頭ごなしに叱ってはいけません。
Yeah, you tell her, Nanjo.
こういう時は温かい牛乳などを与えると良いものです。ここにあるかも。
さっき朝食代わりに出した牛乳で。
No, Milkies. We're all out of Milkies? Well, we've got a couple milks here. I guess some of you will have to make some.
ほら、あの銀の粒みたいなやつとか。
Meanwhile, Rudolph's just like, I don't know, just drug her.
持ってるわよ。ああ、今探して飲ませるから。
Without hiding her displeasure, Rosa grabbed the handbag that had been set on the sofa and fished around for some medicine. It seemed she had brought some child-use sedatives for Maria's tantrums. Is that a real thing? Child sedatives? That seems horrible. I don't like children on principle, but I wouldn't give them, like, I wouldn't drug them. She found it and opened the bottle, but it must have been empty. Yeah, maybe it's like an old school thing before, like, people realize you shouldn't drug children. That does sound old-fashioned. Irritated, Rosa shook the bottle several times, but that didn't change the fact that nothing was in there. As she did that, Maria's crying grew even more intense. To be fair, Ultimate Totoro, this does take place in like 1986. At that time, Eva was lying on her bed, covered by the bedding. Hideyoshi returned from the washroom holding a handkerchief soaked in water.
こらずいぶんひどい熱や。きっと親族会議のどっけにやられてもうたんやな。今はもう他の親族たちのことは全部忘れるんや。な。
As Hideyoshi spoke to her kindly, he set the soaked handkerchief on Eva's burning forehead. Eva rested her own hand on top of his.
あなたの手ひんやりして気持ちいい。
わしの手が気持ちいいようじゃだいぶ熱が出とるな。
Don't put yourself down, Hideyoshi. Eva likes you.
安心せ。
That's a pretty
すぐに
high
薬が効いてく
standard,
る
I
わ。
feel like.
それにな、わしの手は魔法の手なんや。
Yo, is his hand burning
こ
red?
うしてエヴァの額に手を当てとるとな、どんな熱も立ちどころに治ってしまうんや。
そうね。
Does that hand of his, glow with an awesome power?
あなたの手で
Does it tell
私
him
の
to
熱が
defeat
引か
you?
なかったことは一度もないものね。
そうや。わしの手があれば医者いらずやで。
Can his magic hand go through projectiles?
安心して目をつむるんや。
So he can get closer and 360 SPD you?
すぐにわしの魔法でぐんぐん熱が下がる。
I doubt Hideyoshi is a playable character in the Umineko fighting game, but if he was, he should just be Zangief.
うん、知ってる。あなたの魔法感じるもの。
Hideyoshi was about to say it was just a placebo effect, but he stopped. If Eva said she could feel magic coming from his hand, then that was fine for now.
魔法って本当にあるのかしら。
I do wonder. It's a great question going on with everything right now.
信じる者にしかわからへんけどな、そういう魔法は案外世の中にたくさんあるもんや。
魔法が実在するなら、やっぱり魔女も
ん？森の魔女ベアトリーチェのことか。
I wonder.
信じる者にはおるやろな。
You gotta
神様と
believe.
同じや。信心深い人の前にしか姿を現さんのや。
私もね、昔魔法が使えたの。
Of course. Sure you were, honey.
ほう、ほんまかいな。じゃあお前も魔女やったんやな。
私がね、絶対に叶えたい夢があって、それを強く願って努力すると、それが必ず叶ったの。私はその魔法でいつも成績は一番だったし、生徒会
That's
長
not
に
really
だって
that's
な
not
ったし、
really magic. That's
入
just
りたい
like
大学
hard
にも
work.
実力で入れたし、いつだってどんな願いだって叶えてきたわ。
そうやな。お前の魔法はいつだって大したもんや。お前は確かに魔女や。そして誰にも負けん努力家や。わしゃよう知っとるで。
私ね、子供の頃からずっと心の中にもう一人の自分がいて、いつも私を励ましてくれたの。そしてその自分は魔女だった。
Uh-huh. And now she's real and out there in the world,
森の
maybe.
魔女ベアトリーチェ
I don't know how
信じな
this
か
is
った。
working really yet.
もし六軒島に魔女がいるとしたら、それは私の心の中の魔女のことだってずっと信じてきた。その魔女の自分に私はすごい感謝してる。あなたに出会わせてくれてよかったな。
Aw.
いつも感謝してる。
病気の時のお前はいつも気弱すぎや。
You know I like it more when you're mean to me, honey.
今は何も言わんで。
There are two witches inside of you. Both of them are
熱が下が
gay.
るまでずーっとこうしてるからな。
絶対に手を離さないでね。なんだか私、自分が自分でなくなるような気がして、
さっきから怖いの。私の中の魔女がベアトリーチェに触発されて
That
ど
doesn't
んどん
sound
強くな
good.
るような気がして、なんだか私を飲み込んでしまいそうな気がするの。
I sure hope that doesn't happen, like,
大丈
literally.
夫や。
It's fine if it's just like a weird metaphor, but literally would be bad.
わしが一緒にいる限りなんも恐れることなんてあらへん。ほら、ちょいとヤバめな国に旅行に行った時、
The
わし
whole
ごと強盗に
bus?
やったことあったやろ。わしが撃退したんやで。
あなた金時計を渡して拝み倒しただけだったじゃない。
That's kind of like magic.
かっこ悪いけどかっこよかったわ。この手絶対に離さないでね。眠っても絶対に離さないでね。そして何か不気味なものが忍び込んできても私を守ってね。
おう、任せとかんかい。だから
Good old
今は
dependable
安心して
Hideyoshi.
眠るんやで。すぐに薬とわしの魔法が効いてくるからな。
Eva finally calmed her heart and closed her eyes. At that time, there was the sound of a door being opened violently from the direction of the lobby. It seemed that Maria was having a tantrum, and screams of ooh, ooh could be heard, along with Rosa's rebuking yells. That probably hurt Eva's ears, or maybe it was giving her a headache. Eva moaned as though in pain and buried herself in the covers. It was easy to guess what was happening. Maria had probably had a tantrum for some reason, gone down to the lobby, and started arguing with Rosa, who then scolded her daughter. And then, maybe that got too embarrassing to be shown in front of the other relatives, so Rosa had taken Maria out into the corridor. Hideyoshi had no desire to butt in on Rosa and Maria's problem, but just for now, since Eva's condition was so bad, he wanted them to take their ruckus somewhere else.
ちょいと待っとれや。
Their ruckus.
静か
Bring
に
the
するよう
ruckus.
お願いしてくるわ。
早く戻ってきて。
大丈夫や。この部屋から出んて。
Hideyoshi about to witness child abuse. Hideyoshi removed the chain, opened the door, and stuck his face out into the corridor. He immediately met Rosa's gaze.
大丈夫かいな、ローザさん。
ごめんなさい。うるさくして起こしちゃったかしら。
マリアちゃん、ごめんな。エヴァおばさんな、具合が悪くて寝とるんや。すまんが、ちょいと静かにしてもらえるか。
Maria's tone didn't change after Hideyoshi's request. She kept crying, ooh, ooh, and repeating, my rose, my rose. Rosa slapped Maria's cheek, lifted her up while covering her mouth, and dragged her towards the entrance, trying to at least put some distance between her and Hideyoshi's room. Oh my god. She would still probably be noisy for a while, but he had warned Rosa for the time being. Relying on Rosa's actions as a mother, Hideyoshi closed the door. Well, you tried.
またマリアちゃんが泣いてるの。
そうみたいやな。ローザさんも大変や。それを思えば、うちのジョージは出来すぎや。親が
Our
感謝
George
したい
would
く
never
らいや。
cry. He just eats a lot.
そうね。
おお、すまんすまん。ほら、魔法の手やで。
Green hand. He put his hand on Eva's forehead again. Maybe there really was magical power in that hand. A truly peaceful look rose to Eva's face, and bit by bit she began to drift off into the land of sleep. As he had promised, Hideyoshi kept his hand on her forehead. I sure hope nothing bad happens, like, immediately. By the entrance, with her hand still against Maria's mouth, Rosa was at a loss at what to do next. She hadn't been able to withstand everyone's gazes in the lobby, and had yelled at the children to go upstairs, dashing out of the lobby. Then, she had gone out into the corridor, only to have Hideyoshi say that she was too noisy. Where should I go now? Where should I take this child who's having a tantrum? She felt as if tears of frustration were about to come out. As Maria kept struggling in an attempt to scream, Rosa put her mouth up to Maria's ear and tried to persuade Maria in a properly calm voice.
マリアはそんなにもバラが見たいのね。
This rose is very important to her. Maria nodded her head several times, moaning, ooh, ooh.
どうしてそんなにバラが見たいの？お母さんが聞いてあげるから静かに話して。叫んだら殴るわよ。
You tried.
マリアのバラ、ペアトリーチェに蘇らせてもらったの。また折れちゃってるかも。マリアはそれが心配。確かめないと眠れない。
Apparently, she was still upset about that marked rose from yesterday. I know! Talking to children works better than hitting them. Who could have seen it coming? What a crazy revelation we've had here today. Rosa felt her headache throbbing again, but she was at least a little relieved that Maria had now stopped her screaming.
とにかく今はみんな大変なの。だからママたちに迷惑をかけないで。
That is the wrong
バラの
answer.
話は明日雨が上がったら好きにしていいから。だから今は聞き分けなさい。
やだ。マリアのペアトリーチェのバラ。
It's the wrong answer, Rosa. Try again. Rosa reflexively covered Maria's mouth. She had spoken a little too harshly and gotten her agitated again. Rosa realized that it was partly her own fault and clicked her tongue in self-hatred, but Maria thought that was directed at her, and her crying grew even fiercer.
お願いだから静かにして。どうしたらあなたは泣き止むの？どうしたら
She told you.
あなたはママの言うことを聞いてくれるの？
Suddenly, Maria stopped crying so fast that it seemed unnatural. Then she turned around and muttered.
マリアのバラを見たら、ちゃんと明日まで静か
Oh
に
no,
してる。
she's going Chuni mode.
本当？
バラ庭園に行って、
It's been a while since we've seen Chuni Maria.
もうおとなしくする。本当だよ、ママ。
If it would keep Maria quiet for the time being, Rosa thought that even going out into this wind and rain would be a small price to pay. She thought it might be a bit reckless, but in the end, no murder or anything of that sort had actually occurred. All of that clamor since this morning had been a farce set up by Kinzo. If you carefully thought about that chain of closed rooms, it clearly had to all be an act. Yeah, that's sure.
バラを
Okay.
見たらもうおとなしくする？
本当だよ、ママ。
Hontodaya. Rosa didn't overlook that creepy laugh and lightly hit Maria with her fist. And she shrugged as though giving up.
わかったわ。
I've got a gun.
一目見たら納得するのよ。いいわね。
ママ、約束する。
Once again, Rosa tested the weight of her gun. It'll be okay. It's only an act. There was never a murderer on this island in the first place. Yeah, Battler's like, uh-oh, uh-oh. He's like the guy watching the horror movie. He's like, no, don't open that door. Don't go in that room. The killer's in there.
第二の晩の犠牲者なのか。くそくそくそ。誰か気づけよ。呼び止めろ。今の親父たちや俺たちは何をしてるんだ。
ローザ親子の痛々しい関係に気を使ってわざわざ話題を変えて
As people tend to do.
そなたらも2階へ上がりテレビを見ながら話題を変えて
くそったれ。誰か気づけよ。一番近くにいるのは誰だよ。秀吉おじさんか。頼むよ。玄関から2人が出ていくのを気づいてくれよ。
He really is like the scared movie watcher.
2人のささやかな時間を邪魔してくれるな。
Hideyoshi kept talking kindly, his hand on Eva's forehead. He didn't notice at all that Rosa and Maria were going outside through the front door. In that case, there was no way the others in the lobby, which was even further away, would notice. Much less those in the cousin's room on the second floor.
そ そなたは何を慌てておる
Ooh,
の
you're scared. Ooh, you're so
第
scared.
一の晩にて犯人は事故死したとの大胆な察してにてわらわを
What are you
打ち
so
破ったでは
scared of, you baby cuck?
ならばもうこの島に犯人はおらぬことになるぞ何を心配する必要があるというのか
うるせえよ、しらしらしいんだよ。誰か引き止めろ。二人が殺されるんだ。誰か止めろ。
There was no way that Battler's voiceless scream would reach Maria or Rosa. The two of them could be seen in the rose garden. The rain was still awful, but fortunately, not unfortunately, no prefix there. The wind had died down a little. No, maybe that wasn't fortunate. Because maybe, if the wind had been a little fiercer, Rosa might have hesitated to go outside.
おー
Maria found her rose with the gold lace and stared at it lovingly. Rosa had accepted the promise under the condition that Maria would only get one look at it, but she didn't want Maria to complain that it hadn't been long enough later on. So she decided to go along with Maria until she was satisfied. She believed that there wasn't a culprit, but on the off chance that she was mistaken, they were now in an extremely dangerous position. Rosa realized that faintly herself. If things got bad, she would throw away her umbrella and ready her gun. After glancing at Maria's innocent happiness, Rosa gazed warily in all directions. Uh-oh! Watch out! Were her eyes just tired? Even though no one should have been there, she thought she saw something glitter in the dark rose garden. Gold-colored. It had to be her imagination. Because, to Rosa, it seemed as though gold butterflies were dancing through the rose bushes. Watch out! Ooh, it's coming!
大丈夫かエヴァ、無理せんで
I'm sure Eva will be
や
fine.
っぱり
I'm sure she's doing great.
こんか
大丈夫だからこの手を離さないでお願いだから
Hideyoshi's magic green hand.
離さないで
Eva was breathing wildly. Beads of sweat were appearing on her forehead. It certainly was true that she had stayed up all night last night and that things had been rough since early this morning. It wasn't odd that her body wasn't keeping up. Even though she understood that, Hideyoshi suspected that this sudden fever was a sign of some serious illness. Several times, Hideyoshi decided to call for Dr. Namjo, but Eva resisted firmly, pleading with him and saying that it was even more important that he didn't take his hand away.
わかった。でもな、お昼になったら必ず南條先生に見ても
Oh
ら
my
う
god,
ね
it's still the morning, I forgot.
それを約束できるならずっとここにいてお前の顔してぎゅーっとな。
ありがとう大丈夫よあなたの手の魔法で必ずこんな熱なんか
She doesn't sound fine. Even as she said that, Eva's harsh breathing didn't improve in the slightest.
離さないで
I'm sure nothing bad will happen in very few moments. Seems normal.
誰
Everything's fine. She saw an umbrella moving from beyond the rose bush. Rosa threw away her umbrella and wildly lifted her gun. When she did, the shadow of a person beyond the bush showed itself.
おーエヴァおばさん
びっくりしたわ
Uh-oh!
姉さんなの何かご用さっきの話の続きなの
ええ、そうよ。お父様の黄金の話よ。
What do you? How'd you get out here so fast, Eva? It's almost
お
like
願いだ
there's
から
two
マ
of
リ
you
ア
or
の前では
something.
遠慮して。ちゃんと約束は守ってるわよ。姉さんの悪巧みの邪魔はしないわ。
悪巧み？何それ？
姉さんが
Nani
何
sore?
を考えていても勝手よ。私は邪魔する気なんてない。だからマリアの前では許して。私は分け前さえもらえれば十分なの。
分け前？
Oh no, she's got the laugh.mp3. Watch out. Eva started laughing in a creepy voice. Rosa was startled, but Maria stared blankly. Then Maria said just one thing.
ほー、おばさん誰？
Uh-oh. This seems like a dangerous situation for Rosa and Maria.
分け前？誰がお前にやるものか。あれはすべて私のもの。この黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェのものよ。
Oh no, who could have seen this coming?
エヴァ、大丈夫か？エヴァ、エヴァ、エヴァ。
握っていて離さないで。私じゃない誰かに連れ去られないように。
We're having a tough time here. Real Eva is being subsumed by fake baby internal Eva, who is also the Golden Witch now. Eva on Eva violence, that's right.
お前が何を努力したの？何も努力してない。いつも私たちの
There's Eva Beatrice. I think that, if I remember right, that's what the tips called her, Eva Beatrice.
いつも戦わずに影から影へと逃げ回っていたお前に、後ろ宮家の黄金を無心する資格など本当にあると思ってるの？あれは全て私のもの。後ろ宮家当主にして新しき黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェの名を継承した私だけのもの。
ベアトリーチェ。ベアトリーチェだ。ママ、ベアトリーチェ。
Maria jumped at her mother in ecstasy. Rosa treated Maria cold-heartedly and raised her gun high.
姉さんよね。
Yes, sort of.
姉さんなのよね。
Balan Baloo, thanks for the resub. Nice to have it.
違うわ。私はもはやあなたの姉であった存在ではないの。
じゃああんた誰なのよ。ベアトリーチェだとでも言うの？そんなはずはない。あんたは19年前に死んだのよ。ええ、確かに死んでいたわ。
Like a watermelon.
私あなたの頭が割れているところをはっきり見たもの。
Yes, that's right. She fell on some rocks and it's all your
その
fault,
中身が
Rosa.
溢れ出しているのを昨日のことのように思い出せる。
Evatrice, I like that portmanteau.
どうして生きてここにいるのよ。
黄金の魔女に死の概念などないの。黄金の魔女とベアトリーチェの名は永遠に受け継がれてるか？お前が知っていたベアトリーチェは死を迎えたかもしれないが、故に無限。
Sure, that's kind of like being
死の
immortal.
概念はないの。
あの黄金に気が触れたとしか思えない。
Evatorice.
哀れね、姉さん。
もはや私はお前の姉ではないというのに。さて、新しきベアトリーチェとして自らの
Oh yeah, that's right. She still has to carry out the big murders.
ロノベ、私はどうすればいいの？
Oh hi. Oh, that's right. Renove is hers now.
もはやベアトリーチェ様には どのような思いも実現できる力がおありです。少し扱えば慣れるでしょう。
Listen, Renova can't really do anything about it. He's bound to his funny little contract.
私が魔女として初めて捧げる最初の生贄に選ばれたことを光栄に思うがいい。第2の番に寄り添う2人を私がこの手で引き裂く。
Oh no! The first thing the new Beatrice wished for. No, the first magic she tried to use was to surpass the limitations given to humans. In particular, gravity. She wanted to become fully aware of her transformation into a witch by being released from those shackles. As the witch and Rosa stayed as they were, the ground retreated all by itself into the distance below them. By now their feet were no longer attached to the ground. We're floating! Rosa finally realized that the earth wasn't retreating into the distance below them, but that she and the witch were being sucked up into the rainy sky. Ascend! Ascend! Rise! Suge! For a human shackled to the ground by gravity, there is nothing more unnerving than having their feet stop sticking to that ground. However, to Beatrice, who in becoming the new witch had learned the joy of being released from gravity, it was enough to make her whole body shake with delight.
ねえローザ、昔小さい頃魔女になって空が飛べたらなって話したことあるの覚えてる？叶ったよ。
I like how Beatrice has the little things now too.
私が本当の魔女になって叶えてあげたわ。やめてよ。夢なら覚めて。あなた言ったわ。夢の中で空を飛んだって。そして覚めたくなかったとも言ったわ。起こした私を恨んだともね。安心して。今度は覚めないわよ。
Yeah, I'm sure this is leading to great places. Come, dance with me in the vast rainy sky. Don't we both wish we could fly like seagulls in the sky and escape that cramped and boring island of Rokenjima? Now I'll make that dream a reality for you. I only want to share this joy with you and no one else. She's having fun. Good for her.
楽しいねローザ、楽しいね。見てごらんガンガを。私たちのお屋敷ってあんなにも小さいわ。あんな小さな場所で私たちはどれほどの長い時を過ごしたのかしら。その狭さとちっぽけさに今こそ本当に呆れるわ。だからこそ感じて楽しいね。喜んで。
Yorukande!
私たちが憧れた大空を
I'm glad she still has that verbal tick.
さあ踊ろうよ。
Just like slightly less exaggerated.
雨の中を風の中を私たちは踊るように飛び回ろう。稲光が私たちを照らして祝福してくれるわ。
The witch and Rosa were like leaves floating around in a whirlwind. As the rain pounded upon every part of their bodies, as the lightning occasionally shone upon them, they shook with the joy of being released from the ground. However, it was only that way for the witch. Rosa was holding onto her head, voicelessly screaming over and over. It's going great. We're having a good time up here in the sky. Oh, well, there she is. There again. There, this is the outcome I expected. A slightly displeased expression rose to the witch's face when she realized that her own joy was not being shared. Then she decided to listen to her former sister's request. Yep, there she goes. Bye! Bye, Rosa! The whirlwind that had been making Rosa dance around grew weaker, then stopped. In other words, Rosa was once again bound by the restrictions of gravity, as a human. Ah, her soul is weighed down by gravity once more. Following the laws that were originally correct, Rosa began to descend towards the ground upside down. No, she began to fall.
いけない。
Oopsie!
そうか、ちゃんと下ろしてあげないとこういうことになるのね。
The witch hadn't intended Rosa to send Rosa plummeting, but she still wasn't used to using magic. Well, there, bye, Rosa. After plummeting about 100 meters into a rose bush as a very, very natural result, Rosa died instantly. But the witch hadn't intended to kill her, so she wished that Rosa hadn't died. Ugh. Just put all that goo back together. When she did, gold butterflies coiled about Rosa's body, reviving that life just as the witch had wished. Rosa's body, which should have been spread out like a carpet of fresh blood, rapidly returned to normal. The broken and crushed bones returned to normal. The torn and smashed flesh returned to normal. How easy it is to break things in this world and how difficult it is to fix them. Anyone can take a life, but no human can revive a lost life. By surpassing the irreversible, one proves that they have surpassed humanity. This surely gave her a much, much greater realization of her position as a witch than flying through the sky had.
すごい。死んだ命をも私は蘇らせられる。
I'm sure it's looking great. I'm sure Rose is feeling good.
もちろんです。ベアトリーチェ様はすでに無限に生きることも死す生かすことも殺すことも全てを無限に繰り返す。その輪廻を支配する女王こそが
Ultimate Totoro,
魔女である。
thanks for the resub. Rosa got that Black Widow treatment. She sure did. This time she came back to life though, so it's whatever.
命を落としたことがあるわ。涼しげな美しい鉢が割れてしまって二度と元に戻らなかった。床に叩きつけられた可愛いデメキンは二度と泳ぐ姿を見せてくれなかった。
Rip to Eva's goldfish.
私がいくら泣いても使用人たちは壊れたものと死んだものは蘇らせられない。首を横に振ったっけ。あの時学んだのよね。
Oh yeah, what did you learn, Eva? What lesson did you take away from this?
物は壊しちゃいけない。人は殺しちゃいけないって。
This seems basic, yes.
だって直せないんだもん。じゃあ直せるだろう。壊しても怒られないということでしょ。
She's got a point, if I'm being honest. She's got a good point, I think.
すごいすごいすごい。
I'm glad we're having fun here. We're all having a good time. For a while, the witch became intoxicated with how terrible and wonderful the power she had
I'm
inherited
having
was.
fun.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, dude. Her laugh was pure, innocent, and cruel. Even though Rosa had been revived, she let out a cry of anguish at the pain from her fall. At that point, the witch landed and held out her hand. Oh, see, she apologized, so it's fine.
空を飛ぶのがこんなに楽しいとは思わなかったわ。ごめんなさい。本当にごめんなさい。そして人間がこんなにもろく死ぬとも知らなかったの。でも生き返らせてあげたからもう平気。だから起きて。私ともっと遊びましょう。
I'm glad she's doing well. What were those dreams you told me about when you were a kid? Go ahead and tell me all of them without holding back. As I am now, I can make anything come true, no matter how absurd. Even drowning you in a sea of jelly, even having you get sucked into a mountain of cake. I can even make you sprout butterfly wings and flit around the garden, okay? I'll do them one after another. Let's start with the ocean of jelly, alright? Nope, you're gonna drown in that jelly, bitch. Oh, there she goes. As Madame redeemed insult. As Madame. You're always posting so much in my chat room whenever I stream Umineko. Always with certain comments, always saying the same thing again. Do you really think that will get my attention, just repeating yourself over and over? You really think I'll want to pay attention to you more then? It's so pathetic. Anyways, Rosa's going flying again. However, the sky wasn't filled with raindrops, but with drops of orange juice. When she looked down, Rosa had to doubt her eyes. The rose garden had disappeared, and the ground spread out beneath her was like a pastel-colored jigsaw puzzle. It was an ocean of jelly, like the one she had spoken of from her dreams when she was young. The black part was coffee jelly, the red was strawberry, the yellow was pineapple, and the green was melon. What was the white part, apple? Did Rosa even have the time to think of stuff like that? Rosa fell towards the multicolored ocean. I don't know, you can probably swim in jelly. Actually, surface tension, I don't know, if we're talking about, like, just jelly, wouldn't the surface tension still, like, kill you if you fell from really high? I'm not sure how that would work out, you know, in terms of physics. Somebody call, like, the Mythbusters or something. And she sunk deep into a purple, grape-flavored sea. It really was an ocean of jelly. It had no bottom. As Rosa sank, she was shocked to see a school of transparent fish swimming through the grape jelly ocean. They were probably made of grape skin. Ew. They did surgery on a grapefish. Then she sunk on, deeper and deeper, as deep as the Marianas Trench. Crushed by the water pressure of the jelly ocean as her ribs snapped, as her spine snapped. In the end, she became a small, frail meatball. Oh boy! This is a great time. Is that wonderful? That doesn't sound very wonderful. I mean, it sounds like a wonderful thing to do to someone else, but not to experience. The instant I snapped my fingers, that meatball that had been Rosa was launched up into the sky. And after being wrapped up in a golden sparkle, she returned to her original form. It was as simple and easy as returning dried seaweed to its original form, and anyone could do it, if they were a witch. That absent-minded look on Rosa's face has to be the joy from having that dream she gave up on as a child come true. Definitely. Probably. Yeah, for sure. Next is the mountain of cake. In an instant, the sky was covered and became black and white in the shape of a chessboard. That almost transparent white part was her favorite rare cheesecake. The elegant black part was a slightly bitter gâteau au chocolat. That became the ceiling, became a mountain, and several billion cakes were thrown down towards Rosa. If you piled those cakes up, they would surely be taller than Mount Everest. So they probably weighed... I'm not too sure, but I'll bet it was heavier than all the cakes across Japan put together. That's a lot of cake. Sure, the bitch really said let them eat cake, and they were eating that fucking cake. Oh. Dude, imagine getting polarized by cake. What a way to go. It fell down like a ceiling and swallowed Rosa up. So it was a very, very natural result. Rosa was crushed to death. In less than a second, her bones broke throughout her body and her insides were all smashed and forced out. Squish, pop, slop. Even so, an even greater number of cakes piled up on top, and Rosa ended up as a layer of jam wedged between them. She became as thin as a single hair, and was probably spread out over the rare area of a tennis court. That world swallowed up by cake was once again absorbed by gold flash. Then, as though it all been a dream, Rosa was revived once again. Of course, it definitely wasn't a dream. She had been revived after dying. By that point, death, which most humans only have to experience once after they're born, had already been experienced repeatedly by Rosa. In other words, she had gone through that which humans cannot, the precious experience of dying more than once. So it's going great here. There's a very attractive laugh you have there, Eva. Oh boy. Where's Maria in all this? She just watching her mom get pulverized over and over again.
もっと遊ぼうよもっと遊ぼう
The laugh is very silly. Laughing innocently, she pointed her gold staff at Rosa as she begged for mercy. When she did, Rosa glittered gold and rapidly began to shrink. She shrank down to the size of a real butterfly. Then gold wings sprouted from her back, and she joined her fellow gold butterflies. However, while a human body could withstand that wind, it was different matter for a butterfly's body. The gold butterfly Rosa was invited to dance by each gale of wind, and she spun in circles around the rose garden. Maria is hitting the gritty off screen. Yeah, that sounds about right. As her dance wore her out, she was caught by a gentle bed. It was a soft, knit hammock in the shadows beneath the roof of the arbor. The owner of that hammock lumbered into view, welcoming its rare guest who had wandered in on the night of the storm. That owner, which should have been small enough to crush in the palm of your hand, now looked as big as the top of a canopy bed to Rosa. A lot of things going on. This is pretty inventive, though. I gotta hand it to Eva.
当時ねクモの巣に引っかかってる
Very, very genie-esque. Except none of the wishes are anything Rosa even wants anymore.
今度はクモとダンスなのね懐かしいわねクモの巣を見つけては石粒を投げつけて遊んだの思うクモって獲物をかじるんじゃなくて毒液を刺して中身をドロドロのスープに
appetizing.
溶かしてからすするんだって聞いたことがあるわねえローザ覚えてる
Nee, Rosa.
わざと蝶々をクモの巣に放ってどうクモが襲うんじゃなくて
I-
遊んでたと
I don't recall this.
覚えてる
I think you're making this part up.
覚えてないわねあなた小学校に上がる前だったと思うもの今度はよく見れるわよしげしげとね
The laugh is so funny.
許して姉さん助けて姉さん
Blah, blah, blah. I love Beatrice. She's like, hey, that's pretty good. She's pretty inventive. I like this. I like this lady. 面白い
バトラも笑えるだろ
ふざけんなもう止めろ何が楽しいんだよおかしいてめえおかしいぞこんなことをして何が楽しいってんだ
I don't know. I can see the appeal.
楽しそうじゃないかよ
I think it's great to over-exaggeratedly harm those who have harmed you in the past.
無理もない魔法は楽しいもんな思い出すよわらわも魔法が使えるようになった時はすっごくはしゃいだもんさああわかるぜわかるぜあのはしゃぎっぷりが心の底からわかる
It's all a big adrenaline rush.
この喜びや感動バートラには共感できないんだろうなああ残念残念バトラだってわらわを認めればいつだって魔法を教えてやるぞ人間の束縛を逃れた瞬間の喜びは筆舌に尽くしがたいそなたに教えてやりたいよ
Wow, you're suddenly so interested in Battler being around you. Interesting.
そなたの生み出す魔法の世界もぜひ一度見てみたいものだ 欲しくなってきただろう。魔法が使いたくなってきただろう。魔女もなかなかに楽しいものであるぞ。そなたには特別に教えてやる。一緒に空を飛ぶ喜びとか、一緒に海を潜る喜びとか、人間の制約を超えた瞬間に知る世界がどれほどに広かったのかという
Wide,
感動を
Mr. Worldwide.
そなたに教えてやる。
There was no malice in Beato's expression. It was hard to believe, but she was genuinely enjoying this cruel show, and she wanted to share that appreciation with Battler. Battler was shocked by that hopelessly different sense of values.
信じられねえ。もうやめろ、チクショー。ワルギリア、このおかしな茶番を止めさせるんだ。
I don't think Vergilia can make them do
ど
anything.
うすりゃいいんだ。
私たちは番外の存在です。盤上には触れられません。
Vergilia shook her head apologetically. Her body had already been killed. Did that mean she couldn't interfere in any way? As Beatrice continued to look amused in an insane sort of way, Battler lifted her up by the collar and yelled at her.
やめろやめろやめろ。いい加減にしろ、魔女め。あれがエヴァおばさんだってのか。ありえない。俺の知ってるエヴァおばさんは確かに
She might be kind of a bitch, but she's not a makes you get eaten by spiders
こんな残酷なことを
bitch.
する人じゃ断じてありえない。全てお前のまやかしだ。ローザおばさんをもてあそぶな。エヴァおばさんをもてあそぶな。今すぐこの茶番を止めさせる。
だからローザと遊んでいるのはもうわらわではないという。新しきベアトリーチェだというに。そんなにギャーギャーわめくほどに残酷か。そなたもこういうの実は結構好きだろうが。実はちょっぴり魔法に興味を持ってきて。
Did he like punch her?
何をする。
She sounds so upset. For the first time, Battler slapped Beato's cheek. Beatrice didn't know why he had done something like that to her, and a surprised expression rose to her face. Battler especially couldn't forgive that expression, and he roared.
ああ
Confused screaming.
お前の頭はどうなってんだ。知れ。頭を輪切りにしててめえで覗いてみろ。絶対に中身が
You'll see nothing in there.
今すぐやめさせろ。この悪趣味な茶番をやめさせるんだ。
He literally said her head is empty.
よくもこんな残酷なことを。お前のこと少しでも笑えるやつだと思ったこともあった
I
が。
thought for a second there you were acting a little goofy, and I thought you were just kind of funny and a little bit scrunkly, but now I remembered you're a big murder lady.
お前はただ残酷なだけの怪物だ。俺の前に現れるな。二度とだ。お前を認めない、お前と話さない、お前の顔など見たくもない。
When you make fun of the Twitter when you make fun of a guy on Twitter too long.
聞こえたか。俺の前に現れるな。
Blocked, blocked. None of you are free from sin.
なんか消えてしまえ。
Very good, Daisuke Ono. Thank you. Why are we in the orb? The instant Battler screamed, the power that resisted the witch became a red wall and knocked Beato back onto her butt. Her booty!
だというのだ。面白い見物ではないかよ。
She spoke defensively, but the target of those words, Battler, was no longer there. His figure had suddenly disappeared into the darkness. But Beatrice looked displeased and continued trying to explain herself.
いや、確かにちょっと。
She's like a kid getting scolded.
そんなの無邪気ないたずら程度であろう。どう殺そうが、結局は生き返らせておるではない。
Damn.
人間は終わりさえ良ければ
All's well that
良い
ends
生き
well.
物ではなかったのか。のう、お師匠様。そこまでへそを曲げられるものでもある前に。
She was hoping for approval, but Virgilia simply faced her with an indifferent expression. To Beato at that moment, even an exasperated look would probably have been better.
私から特に言うことはありません。あなたが楽しいと思うなら、いつまでも見続けていると良いでしょう。
I have nothing to say to you.
終わったら呼びなさい。それまで私も姿を消します。
I love how Battler has come up with a good way to deal with Beatrice when she's being really terrible. It's just like, I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna leave and not give you the attention you clearly want. It's adorable. Following Battler's lead, Virgilia vanished into the darkness. Beato, who was now completely isolated and didn't have a clue what was going on, felt that they were making her out to be the bad guy. Oh god. Who could ever want to do that? Who could ever see Beato as a bad guy? なんだよ。
面白いショーじゃないかよ。
え、
ちょっとは悪趣味かもしれないけど、割と面白いじゃないかよ。なあ、ロノウェ。そこまで怒るほどじゃないよな。
What do you want from me? I'm not your servant anymore. I'm the other Beatrice's servant.
バトラ様にも面白いとは。
What do you mean he doesn't share all of my interests?
あら。
Ah, she's like crying about it.
そりゃ確かに対戦相手だから敵同士ではある。
Beatrice, you murdered his entire family.
笑い合えるほどわらわたちは不仲だというのか？
It was just a little trolling. We did a little trolling. He blocked her on Twitter, yeah.
魔女だと認めぬのは許す。それを競い合うゲームなのか。
It's all just a game, bro. It's just a prank.
でもよ、
It's just a prank, bro.
顔も見ない、話もしないって。無視はいくらなんでもないだろう。わらわはそんなにも嫌われ者なのかよ。
Hang on, I have to see her crying face in the pachinko art. She looks so upset.
これまでお嬢様は十分に嫌われるだけの指し手をいたしました。悪魔の私でさえバトラ様の気持ちが。
It's like you murdered his entire family like twice. I'm not sure what kind of approval you're expecting here. I would simply revel in my enemy hating me.
鈍感が過ぎるのではないかと。
Perhaps it's just because you're stupid.
うるさいうるさいうるさいうるさい。お前も消えてしまえ。
はい。
Okay, goodbye.
それでは失礼いたします。
Even Renove hid himself in the darkness, and Beatrice was left alone. The only one in the rainy rose garden. No one ever plays with a lonely witch. And the fact that no one ever does is what makes them a lonely witch.
なんでわらわととても遊んでくれないんだろう。そんなにわらわは変かよ。残酷かよ。誰か返事しろよ。
She's so pouty in this episode.
楽しいねローザ、楽しい。
In the first two, she's like, yes, I love being evil and murdering and making Battler upset.
さあ、次は何をして遊ぶ？
But now she's all pouty about like making him too upset. It's like you made him too mad. Now he's rejected you totally. You got the opposite of what you wanted.
もちろんマリアも一緒に遊んであげるわ。みんなで仲良くお散歩しよう。
Oh boy, Maria's turn.
煮えたぎるチョコレートの鍋を泳いでケーキ膨らむオーブンの中をピクニックしよう。
Her laugh is so fucking stupid.
の新しきベアトリーチェ。
Behind the witch that was continuing her mad banquet, Beato showed herself. That expression was very rare for her. It was somehow restrained, unreliable, miserable. You seem a little power drunk. Can we dial it back?
魔女に生まれ変わることができたことを今ほど楽しいと思ったことはありません。まるでいつまでも終わらぬお遊戯の時間のよう。さあ、先代様もご一緒に遊びましょう。その前にちょっとお待ちになってくださいね。二人はオーブンの中で焼け焦げて死んでしまった。
Listen, all you had to do was murder them. You didn't have to do it like over and over again.
まるでイーストで膨れるパンみたいに、オーブンの中で膨れるクッキーみたい
I
に。
could go for some cookies. Who's gonna make me cookies?
話を聞けというのに。そのだな、第二の番の生贄にはもう十分であろう。確かに殺し方については指定がないが、それ以上もてあそぶことはあるまいに。
It's bad form. It's bad optics, Eva.
さっきロノレから聞きましたよ。先代様の魔法はもっともっと素敵で
A little bit. I don't know. She never did the cake thing. She never like warped reality to crush you in a giant ocean of jelly. That was, yeah, I mean, that thing was like a slightly more normal murder setup. It was really gross.
なんでもない日を祝うお茶会にみんなを招待して、私が魔法で次々おもてなしするの。先代様みたいに素敵にできるかしら。個性的に残酷にポップにキュートにできるかし
Pop
ら。
murder, you love to hear it.
今思うとおとぎ話とかってどれも残酷でしたよね。そのおとぎ話の魔女に自らがなってみて、ようやく理解しました。
I hate her laugh so much.
わらわもその以前までの少しやりすぎたかな。少しは思っておる。
I may have gone a bit far in a few places.
まあ黄金の魔女という少しは気品があっても良いかと思ってな。
Question marks?
先代様が何をおっしゃってるのかわかりません。でも一つだけわかります。今の私がどれほどを尽くしても先代様の残酷さには到底及びません。もっともっと頑張らなくちゃ。もっと残酷になって立派な黄金の魔女にならなくちゃ。
だからそれはもう十分だというに。とにかくわらわの先代としての
I'm sure this
命
will
令だ。
go over very well.
第二の番はもう十分だ。わらわが少し手本を見せる。下がって見ておる。
はい、先代様。どんな無残で残酷でおぞましい殺し方を見せてくれるのか
I'm sure this is go
楽しみ
great.
です。
Eva's just gonna see her do it like a normal stabbing and be very disappointed. The new witch grasped the sides of her skirt and gave a graceful bow. Stepping back as an expectant gaze rose to her face. She was expecting an even more cruel magic that surpassed even herself.
そういう殺し方しかできないうちは半人前なのだ。
Ah,
わらわ
please
が
enlighten us, Beto.
黄金の魔女らしい殺し方を見せよう。
Please enlighten us on the proper way to murder a 9-year-old. When Beato waved her pipe, 7 colors of smoke poured out, reviving Rosa and Maria. Compared to how the new Beatrice had done it a short while ago, it was slightly gentler. It was probably gentler than how Beato had done it herself up until now. Rosa's consciousness had already grown dim from the pain of so many repeated deaths, but even so, she pleaded that her daughter be spared.
許して、せめてマリアだけでも許して。
Without restraint, yeah. Yeah, that's one way to put it. I know, Beatrice liked Maria in the previous episodes, but unfortunately, we're all at the whims of the demon's roulette here. when Maria realized it was the real Beatrice, she jumped onto her.
ペアと約束したよね。マリアを黄金島へ連れてってくれるって。
Yeah, sure. Ooh, yeah, sure. Me reaping. Ha! This rocks. Me sewing. Oh no, this sucks.
ママとも仲良しになれて、みんなずっと笑い合えるの。ここへ連れて行ってくれるって約束してくれたよね。
Did a little oopsie whoopsie.
その約束はもう守れない。碑文の謎を解く者が現れたから、わらわはもう黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェではないのだ。だからすまない。そなたとの約束はもう守る。
なんでどうしてペアと約束。
すまない。本当にすまない。だからせめて約束を守れなかった。
Beatrice is so quiet in this episode. It's hard to hear some of her dialogue. Beato embraced Maria with a loving expression on her face. Rip to that 9-year-old. Then, softly, a red bruise appeared on Maria's neck. It was a very gentle bruise. Its redness grew bit by bit, and when it distinctly formed itself into the shape of a hand, Maria's neck tilted suddenly, peacefully, as though she had fallen asleep.
マリア。
You still got that? You still got that shoddy on you, Rosa?
そなたが第二の番の生贄であることは謝らない。そういう運命の流れ。しかし、その捧げ方が悪趣味であったと
Vulgar.
謝らねばならない。
Like you ever cared before.
これが最後の妨げられる。
Beato softly, gently lifted her finger as though touching the empty air in front of her nose. When she did, a light breeze lifted up, making Rosa's body dance lightly like a feather. Then Rosa's body floated softly, and right there was the garden fence with its spear-shaped prongs. Yes, appetizing. Ah, there she goes. The spear of the fence pierced Rosa's medulla oblongata? Where's that? I forget where that is on the body. Benevolently, without toying with her in a single blow, Rosa's life was snapped out. Compared to the earlier innocent yet cruel events, it seemed to be over much too fast. It just looked like a doll shaped like Rosa was leaning against the fence. That's around the neck. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But she had passed away. I'm so excited for Eva Torice to be very disappointed.
まあ、ざっとこんなものよ。
Beato acted proud, but the new witch wore a blank expression, almost as though this was an anticlimax. I knew it. I knew this would happen. Then she said it out loud.
なんだか地味です。ロノウェイに聞いていた先代様のそれとはずいぶん違います。
そのだな。魔法は上品に使わねばな。あまりその品がないのはエレガントではないのだ。
Yeah, it's all about elegance. Your mirrors have to be pretty.
せっかく素敵なことが無限にできる魔法なのにつまらない。
これ愚痴るでない。黄金の魔女の道は一日にしてならずだ。そなたとて第10の番を終えるまでは半人前よ。今は黙ってわらわの指導に従うのだ。良いな。
I feel like things are gonna pick up speed a bit from here. I do not think Eva Torice will
返事
listen.
はどうした？返事は
I feel like she's not gonna go along with this.
はーい。
それでよい、それで。まあ、まだ復活の儀式の先は長いぞ。あと5人も殺さねばならないからな。あまりもてあそばずに、綺麗に、上品に。少し
あっさりめでいいかな。ロノウェがそなたに教えたわらわのやり方は
Renove is a trickster, that
悪い
one.
例だ。模範にしてはならぬ。よく心に刻んでおけ。
はい先代様。
良い返事だ。ロノウェ、煉獄の七姉妹よ。いでよ。
Meow.
はい、お嬢様。ロの上、ここ。
傲慢のルシファー、ここに。
これまではだな。わらわもいろいろ
Ignore all ignore all that. Ignore that part.
まあ黄金の魔女としての威厳も大事であり、
As Renove laughed at Beato's uncharacteristically flustered speech, he summed it up for her.
かしこまりました。以後は黄金の魔女の名にふさわしい気品に気をつけるようにいたし
She
ま
looks
す。
so nervous.
煉獄の七姉妹もこれまでのような悪ふざけは改め、以後は最短の手順で任務を遂行するようにということでよろしいですか？
I wonder how quickly this will spiral out of Beato's control.
つまりはそういうことだ。みな
Like, how many other people in other episodes will solve the riddle and become the new Golden Witch, and she's just like, no, you're not supposed to do it like that.
はい。かしこまりました。
わらわが言いたいのは以上だ。もう引き上げてよいぞ。
かしこまりました。それでは失礼いたします。
失礼いたします。
ま、わらわが言いたいのはそれ
I'm
だ。
sure this will remain in your control very
それ
tightly.
では引き続きしっかりな。
I'm sure Eva will listen to you
黄金の
diligently
魔女らしく貫禄を持って
and will do everything you just said.
頑張るがよいぞ。そなたを見守っておる。
Acting awkwardly until the very end, Beato left that message and immediately became a cloud of gold butterflies, hiding her form in the empty air. Maybe it'd be more accurate to say that she vanished in a hurry because she couldn't keep up the conversation. She said, "This is awkward, I want to leave." After that, all that remained was Maria's corpse, lying down impounded by the rain, Rosa's corpse propped up by the fence and staring up at the sky, and the figure of the witch.
自重しろ。
Her expression just looked a little bored. There was a popping sound. That was probably her clicking her tongue.
つまんないやつ。
Leaving that last sentence behind, she once again vanished into the empty air. Fun, fun, fun. What time is it now? Oh god, it's later. Wait, is this 11 a.m. or p.m.? I think it's a.m. They mentioned lunch earlier, so this must be 11 a.m.
ようやく落ち着いてくれたようやな。
Hideyoshi wiped his own forehead. For a time, Eva had seemed to be having a very painful nightmare, but it appeared she'd finally fallen asleep. As promised, he still gripped Eva's hand. He'd thought it might be time to let go pretty soon, but he faithfully continued to hold on. Every once in a while, his hand would get tired and he would switch between his right and his left. But even so, as promised, he didn't let go of her hand. At that time, there was a heavy knock. Eva had finally been able to fall asleep, so Hideyoshi grimaced for just an instant.
兄貴、秀吉さん、すまねえ。ローザはそこにいるか？
It was Rudolph's voice. What could it be? Hideyoshi headed for the door, hiding his footsteps so that he wouldn't wake Eva. It was definitely Rudolph's voice, but just in case, he opened the door without removing the chain.
なんや、ローザさんがどないかしたんか？
ローザとマリアちゃんの姿が見えないんだ。一緒にいるかと思って。
廊下で叱っとったの聞こ
I'm
えた
surprised
で
at how long Rudolph has lived this time.
その後静かになったからロビーに戻ったと思っとったんだが。
あ、バカ。
Rudolph clicked his tongue. Other people could be seen in the corridor. Rosa hadn't returned for a while after going out into the corridor, so they'd begun to worry. Near the front door, Natsuki pointed at the unset chain.
チェーンは開いてますし、
Theme of thinking.
バラを見に表へ行ったのでしょう。
鍵を開けっぱなして出ていくなど不用心が過ぎるな。困ったやつだ。
それより今はローザさんとマリアちゃんの身が心配よ。
だな。おいガキども、マリアちゃんのバラってのは
They've all got guns. Everybody gets a gun.
確かあれはバラ庭園の真ん中の花壇だったと思います。
あの二人がそこにいるなら行けばすぐにわかるはずです。
親父、すぐに連れ戻した方がいいだろうさ。
当たり前だ。二人とも連れ戻してお尻ペンペンしてやるぜ。
Why are you always talking about spanking, Rudolph? That's weird.
俺が出たらすぐに鍵をしろよ。
親父、俺も付き合うぜ。
バカ抜かせ。ガキはママとお留守番って相場が決まってら。
どうしたの？何かあったの？
すまんな、起こしてしまったか。ローザさんがマリアちゃんを連れて表へ出たらしい。なんとも不用心なこっちゃ。
ローザとマリアちゃんが表へ？バラ庭園へ？
そうや。ああ、聞こえとったか。マリアちゃんはバラが見たいと騒いどったからな。
ダメよ。バラ庭園に行っちゃダメ。ローザを呼び止めて。
呼び止めるもな。もうずいぶん前に出て行っとるようや。まったく不用心な話やで。
違うの。バラ庭園はダメ。あそこには魔女がいる。そして生贄を待ってる。
It's a little too late for that.
ローザ行っちゃダメ。
Eva cowered again, holding her head. Her complexion looked very bad.
どうしたんや。熱にうなされて何か悪い夢でも見たんか。
夢よね。バラ庭園で魔女がローザたちを。そうよね。夢よね。
落ち着くんや。この部屋にはわしもおる。チェーンもかかっとる。窓かて鎧戸が下ろしてあるし。
Yeah, we do have a gun. We have several of those, in fact.
この部屋はさながら要塞やで。なんも恐れることなんかあらへん。
Hideyoshi beat his chest, trying to calm her, but Eva's insecure expression didn't change. Under the covers, Eva kept praying that the grotesque nightmare she'd just seen was only a dream. Woo! Woo!
ルドルフがバラ庭園中央にてローザ、マリアの遺体を確認。
Do I have a theory of what's actually going on with the dreams? Not at the moment. I have no fucking clue what is going on with baby Eva.
その後、ゲストハウスに戻って応援を呼び、両名をゲストハウスに運び込みま
That's
した。
one where I'm just like, I got nothing.
南條の検視を信頼できるならば、ローザの死因は円
バ
髄
ドゥラ
という
オブランガッタ
先端部分による死突。マリアについては素手による考察と考えられます。ただし、悪魔の証明により誤審率は否定できません。
I'm glad Virgilia is here to speed this part up.
ローザとマリアは死亡した。死因は男女の見立て通り。雲にも食われておらんし、ケーキの山に
See, it's fine. It's just a normal murder. Everything's fine. It's okay, right?
安心せよ。
誰だけ死をもてあそび、死体が綺麗だからいいだろうってのどうかよ。俺は絶対に許さねえぞ。
Oh, look at how mad he is.
ローザおばさんに対する無残な仕打ちの数々、絶対に忘れねえし許さねえからな。
だからあれはわらわではないとい
It
う。
wasn't me. It was the other Beatrice,
奴
literally.
の仕打ちに比べたらはるかに安らかな死を与えたはず。
うるさい黙れ。 お前とは口を聞かない。
You are on mute, Peto.
すでに8人が死んでいる以上、容疑者は10人に絞られる。その中の誰かが殺したってんだろう。あるいは事故死かもな。マリアが発作的に泣きわめき、それを泣き止まそうとしたローザおばさんは力の加減を誤ってつい殺してしまったと。
Honestly, that's not entirely impossible with their
それで動転し
relationship.
て滑って転んで柵に倒れて運悪く死んでしまった。どうだよ、これで魔女も魔法も出番なしだ。
ああ、そういうわけではないぞ。実はだな、ローザとマリアは。
うるさい、お前とは口を聞かないと言っている。目障りだから消えろ。
Quiero.
化け物。
Battler said that without rage, but with a horribly cold voice. That strange behavior was something Beato had noticed right off the bat. In a fight, both of them could go at each other without restraint. However, he wouldn't even step into the ring. She could feel that coldness. Beato didn't find that amusing. She thought about flaring up, but she held back. Maybe even though she was innocent and childish, she had enough sense to realize that she shouldn't pick fights.
なら姿を消すと。
Fine. I'll leave.
かしこまりました。よろしいですか、バトラ様。
問題のない申し出です。バトラ君がベアとの顔を見たくないというなら、
The
それは
girls are fighting.
好きにしろよ。その化け物の顔を見なくて済むなら何だって構わないぞ。
なあ、ちょっと待てよ。さっきから化け物と。わらわはひどい言われようではないか。
Why is so everybody's so
まさ
mean
に
to
わらわはそこまで
me?
バトラに毛嫌いされねばならぬというのか。
Probably the big murders. I'm
あれ
gonna
ら
go
は
with
全て
big
わらわではなく、
murders.
わらわの弟子の仕業であろうが。
別に俺はさっきのことだけで腹を立ててるわけじゃねえ。
The big murders.
一番最初からだ。
なあ、バトラ誤解するなよ。わらわとそなたはゲームを通して対峙し合うプ
It's
レイヤー
just
同
a
士なだ
funny
けだ。
game. It's all a prank, bro.
互いに相手を苦しめるためにそしてを探る
勘違いするな。俺はお前が魔女を認める認めないのおかしなゲームのライバルだから嫌ってるんじゃない。お前の無意味に残酷なところがどうして許せないだけなんだ。
そりゃあ連続殺人を通してのゲームだからな。多少は残酷になるのはやむを得ない。
さっきのことだけじゃない。前回だって前々回だってみんなの腹を裂いてお菓子を詰め込んだり顔面を耕したり。
That one was. Those were pretty. I think those very much qualify as cruel.
そ
Yes.
れに何の意味があったってんだ。
それは、
密室殺
Wait,
人だの
why did I
トリ
do
ック
that?
だのアリバイだの。そこまでは100歩譲ってやる。お前は魔法殺人だと主張したいんだ。そういう手の込んだ事件を起こさざるを得ないことを100歩譲って理解してやってもいい。しかしあれらのグロテスクな殺人に一体どれほどの意味があるというのか。
I love Battler's development at this point where he's like, what is the point of all this? Why are we doing this?
それはその別に。
そうさ、何の意味もない。お前はただ悪ふざけで死者を切り刻んで面白がっているだけだ。それは魔女だからとか魔法じゃなきゃできないからとかそういうのじゃない。ただお前が面白半分に
Just for
残酷の
kicks,
限りを
for
尽く
little
しているだけなんだ。
giggles, for a tee hee and a hoo hoo.
それはお前が魔女だからとかそういうことじゃない。ただただ人として許せないものがあるからだ。
なんだよ、その人としてってや
例えば今回のゲームの第1の番の6人。まあじいさまの黒焦げはともかく
Don't phrase it like that.
他の5人の死体は不要に死者を恥ずかしめない普通の殺し方だった。 狂気が槍だか銃だかははっきりしないが、とにかく殺しの中じゃまだ許容できるマシなものだった。前回前々回の第一の番での非常識さ、残酷さに比べればはるかにマシだった。
Yeah, they all
そし
just
て
got
今
they all
回
got
も
stabbed.
6つの密室をつなげた連鎖密室。まあまあ面白かったぜ。
He's, I like how he's like the six rooms. Oh, that was pretty cool. I like that one. It was pretty neat.
あれをお前とやりとりしてるときは、今だから白状するが、少しだけ楽しい。
That was a good one. You got me good there. It was pretty cool. It
自
was
分の
pretty
存
neat.
在を認めさせようと必死になるお前と、それを否定しようと必死になる俺、どっちも必死で全力だ。おかしな話だが、俺はお前との間にささやかなスポーツマンシップさえ感じた
And
ん
then
だ
then you did the weird stuff with the baby Eva, and then she put them in a cake. Like it was just too weird for me. This is not my kink.
全く理解できない存在でもないかもしれないとわずかに思えた。だがその気持ちは
You fucked
つい
it
さ
up.
っき微塵も残らずに吹き飛んだ。
だからそなたは誤解しておる。あれはわらわではなく。
違う、俺はそういう話をしてるんじゃない。お前はローザおばさんがひどい殺し方を何度も何度も繰り返されるのを見て面白い見せ物だと嘲笑った。それを見て俺は深く失
He
望した。
really hit her with the I'm not even mad. I'm just
お
disappointed.
前が今回少しはマシな殺し方を選んだのは何かのちょっとした気まぐれなんであって、本来の残酷な勝負には何の変わりもないんだと分かって、深くそれどころかお前は残酷な死を純粋に楽しんでさえいる。俺に意地悪をするためだけに残酷を尽くしてるんじゃない。お前は本当に純粋に残酷を楽しんでいる。楽しめる性分なんだ。お前はローザおばさんが何度もむごたらしく殺されている。
Why would anyone think
俺
that?
に楽しい
Why would you
だろう
think I would think that?
嫌味で言ったんじゃない。それを俺にも共感してほ
When,
しくて
when you find out the
楽しいだろうと言
quirky
ったん
goth
だ。
chick who's into Wiccan is actually just a sociopath.
その瞬間俺は失望し、サト、お前が魔女だとかそうでないとかそういうことが問題なんじゃない。俺はお前のその残酷さが許せない。そして理解できない。許すこともできない。だが魔女を認めるか否定するかというゲームは続ける。自ら降りて敗北を認めたりはしないさ。だがそのゲームにお前の無意味な残酷さは何の必
Get
要
her
もない。
ass.
だから俺はお前を対戦相手として認めないことにする。ロノベの方が100倍増した。
Friendship with Beato ended. Now Renove is my new
お
bestie.
前のような残酷趣味はない。あったとしても俺の前でそれをひけらかす悪趣味はない。そうさ、残酷で心が
You have awful
だ
taste.
から理解することができない。相手として不快だ。だから俺はお前の顔を二度と見たくない。
As Bentler went on and on by himself, Beato was shocked into silence for a long time. Maybe she couldn't understand what she was being told, and this was a sign that she was doing all she could in an effort to understand. I love how she like opens her mouth, closes it. It's a really good use of those expressions. For a while, she kept switching between angry expressions, frustrated expressions, bold expressions, as though even she herself didn't know what attitude she should take. In the end, she made her face into a candid expression, as though she had come to her senses, and shrugged her shoulders as though she was tired.
なら好きにすればよい。わらわは以後ロノウェを通してゲームを続けることにする。わらわが姿を
Fine,
見せ
I'm
ない
going to my room.
文句ないであろう。
とりあえずはな。だがお前 前の重ねてきた残酷な行為の数々を。だから絶対にお前を認めない。そのためにも。お前に売られた喧嘩を俺から降りない。そして絶対に負けない。それだけだ。
ベアト、これ以上言い訳を重ねても彼の心象は変わりませんよ。後で話があります。それまで下がっていなさい。
Owned.
わかった。それでは呼ばれるまで姿を消している。
Woman leaves, defeated. Looking lonely, Beato turned her back to them and vanished. Battler watched, a slightly displeased expression on his face. He thought his argument had been valid, but for some reason his mood didn't clear up.
あいつはバカだろ。
そうですね。バカで素直です。
あのバカはローザおばさんが残酷に殺されるところを俺と見て満面の笑みで振り返りやがった。あの残酷症も本気で俺と笑い合えると信じてやがったんだ。俺とその感情を共有できると本気で信じてやがった。あの無邪気な笑顔を見て俺は最低な気持ちになったぜ。むしろこれまでのように意地悪な面で言われた方がずっとマシだった。畜生。
お嬢様は友達というものを持った試しのない方です。
She's a friendless loser.
それどころか、あれほど強く物を言われたことさえなかったでしょう。私もマダムも共に付き人。何を申し上げてもお耳には届きません。お嬢様にはこれも。
ふざけるな。
I don't believe you.
俺はあいつの友達になった覚えはないぞ。
そうでございますね。失礼いたしました。
一つだけあなたに感謝を。あの子のゲームを降りないでくれてありがとう。
Battler would never back down. She spoke words of gratitude, but for some reason Battler made a displeased face. Then, as though in self-derision, he chuckled.
魔女やら悪魔やらに礼を言われるようになっちゃ俺もおしまいだな。ゲームを再開しようぜ。もちろん手心を加えるつもりはないからな。
望むところです。お嬢様と違い、私
Unlike her, I do not rise to Pt.14.
俺の手はすでに刺したぜ。ローザおばさんが犯人で事故死と仮定すれば魔女は否定で
Right,
きる。
more accidents. This is Battler's key card right now. Just saying everything was a funny accident.
ローザおばさんを疑いたくはないが、ベアトをぶっ潰すために今はあえてそうだと仮定する。
赤で否定を行います。ローザとマリアの二人は他殺です。
よし、そこから始めようじゃねえか。
He didn't sound like he was expecting that. He didn't have like a breakdown over it. So I think Battler's got some ideas in the oven. He's cooking. He's cooking something.
盛り上がらねえぜ。
I'm not feeling it. With Rosa's and Maria's deaths, it was now clear that the culprit was still hiding somewhere, trying to add even more murders to this chain. As he shed tears, Rodolph scolded Rosa's corpse for being reckless several times, but Rosa would never respond to that again. They decided to place the two corpses in one of the guest rooms and to seal it until the police arrived. The second murder, no, the murder of the second Twilight had delivered a heavy blow to everyone. It had blown away the optimism that some of them had held, the thought that a prime didn't actually occur and it was all a game or a farce by Kinzo and the servants. Trying to distract themselves from the loss of the people they liked, George and Jessica had spent the whole time since morning talking about every possibility. and they had distracted their hearts by supposing that these murders might actually have all been an act, and that Shannon and Canon were only pretending to be dead. When the next murder occurred, it destroyed that thought, and they were once again struck by the fact that the person they liked had most definitely been killed. The tears that they thought had died away began to drip down once more, and Battler couldn't think of anything to say to them. I know, Renove's too chill. He's too chill. There's no fire in this argument. There's no tension. The sexual tension isn't there. I'm sorry, Renove. Battler is hopelessly straight. After that, all of the adults checked that all of the rooms were safe and locked, just in case. They made certain that the shutters on all of the windows were down and locked, and they confirmed that no one suspicious was hiding anywhere. On top of that, they checked their weapons once again, and checked with each other to make sure that they were mentally prepared so that they wouldn't hesitate to fire off a preemptive shot if they saw the shadow of a mysterious person. Rosa's gun had been found near the scene of the crime. Someone had gone out of their way to leave it there, so everyone suspected that it was some kind of trap. But when Hideyoshi delicately used a fire iron to fire off test shots, it was able to discharge without incident. Badam! Badam! So, since the 5 shots loaded into it had discharged without any problems, they reloaded it with bullets and handed it over to the only adult male who wasn't armed, Hideyoshi. Hideyoshi now has the gun. Now he controls the firepower. However, the fact that it had been able to fire off 5 shots gave rise to a certain paranoia. This short-barrel Winchester could hold only 5 shots. In other words, Rosa hadn't fired even once. And yet, the 2 had probably been killed by someone with their bare hands. This meant there was a possibility that the crime had been committed by someone whose face they knew. Right? Like, they didn't suspect them until they got too close.
私は内心これが全て芝居である可能性を考えたの。南條先生には悪いけど、実は南條先生もグルで、何かお父様が凝りに凝った大芝居を打った可能性もあると思った。だって彼らの密室状況は彼らの自作自演を想定しない限り生み出せないのだもん。
僕たちもそれを疑いました。いえ、今もそうであってほしいと信じてます。
申し訳ないが、それはありません。私も老いぼれです。
I'm super old. I don't know how you think I could do any of that shit.
誤信もあるかもしれない。しかし、生き死にを間違えるようなことは絶対にない。
分かってるよ。わざわざそれを口に出すなよ、南條先生。
すみません。
Please speak sensitively about the death of my boy Toei. They had no way of knowing, but Beato had already used the right to proclaim that the deaths of the 6, no, the deaths of all the victims so far in this game, that faint dream that it was all a farce, that the victims were actually alive. I'm sorry to say it, but that's impossible.
屋敷に精通した何者かが潜んでいて、練りに練った犯行を実行したと考える方が自然だろう。つまり、私も台風が来て外界と途絶された時点で18人以上の人間がいたんだ。
Of course, there was no way for them to know about that either. That claim of Rudolph's had also been denied and read. Pt.14. Thanks for following. Welcome to the Rose Rabbit Army. I'm Daihime-sama, and I am the magnanimous princess of one and all. We're just having a good time with the murder visual novel. It's going great. Battler's very mad at Beato. He's not talking to her right now. She got sent to her room. There are no more than 18 humans on this island.
こう考えると少しは辻褄が合うのかしら。つまり隠れ潜んでいる何者かは本来は今島にいるはずのない人物にもかかわらず、ローザさんが油断するような顔見知りの人物である可能性よ。
それは例えばこの2日間のシフトに当たっていない使用人など。
More servants, that's right. They have more than, Goda, Kumasawa, Shannon, Canon, and Genji. They're just not on shift at this time.
それを言われると弱いな。我々は勤務を終えた彼らが離島するのを切符切りのように確認しているわけではない。数日前のシフトの使用人が 離党したふりをして島内にとどまっていたかもしれないと仮定した。否定するのは難しいね。
They could be hiding anywhere. It's a big island.
ローダさんもアホちゃうと思うで。いるはずのない使用人がひょっくり姿を現したら普通は警戒バリバリや。
顔見知りの犯行と決めつけるのもどうかと思うわ。暗がりから突然ローザが襲われて銃を奪われそうになった。そしたらローザが転んで柵に頭を打ち動かなくなった。ゲストハウスが近かったので銃声を嫌い素手でマリアちゃんを殺したとか。
Yeah, like it's possible they could have snuck up on her.
そういう可能性もあ
The rose garden's pretty open though. It's not like you can just walk up behind her.
る。現場にわざわざローザの銃を残していくだろうか。犯人が何を武装しているか知らないが、こちらの銃は不安要素のはずだ。
I would never feel insecure about guns.
その一丁を
In my experience, people who are insecure about guns are usually the people who own them.
なぜわざわざ現場に残したんだ。
私は初めその銃を罠だと思ったの。チェス盤思考だとそうなる。わざわざ残した以上、私たちの誰かに手に取らせたい。そして引き金を引かせたいに違いない。てっきり暴発して大怪我を負わせるような危険な仕掛けがされてるに違いないと
Well,
思う。
chessboard thinking doesn't always save you, as we've learned.
でも現に大丈夫や。おそらく犯人も焦っとったんとちゃうか。
We've all got guns. Look at our
今頃
guns.
銃を奪うチャンスを逃したことを後悔しとるに決まっとるで。
なんだか不愉快だな。銃なんか怖くもないっていう魔女のメッセージみたいでムカつくぜ。
しかしいずれにせよ恐ろしい相手ですね。ローザさんが銃を持っていることははためにも分かったはずにもかかわらず襲いかかるとは。銃を恐れないという点を私たちは軽視するべきではありません。
夏日の言う通りだ。これまで以上に用心すべきだろう。
念のためなんだけど、ローザさんたちが外に出たと思われる頃、みんなはどこにいたのかしら。
私と夏日、そしてルドルフとキリエさんはここで一緒だった。私がアリバイを保証する。
Yep,
わ
they're
し
all
とエヴァ
together.
も一緒だったで。わしが保証するわ。
俺とジョージの兄貴ジェシカも一緒だったぜ。ローザおばさんに2階へ戻ってろと怒鳴られ、すごすごといとこ部屋へ引き返したさ。
Rose is known for doing a lot of yelling.
マリアを生かせなければ。
それを言ってももうどうしようもないよ。
南條先生は。
私は2階の部屋で本を読んでおりました。一人でおりましたので誰にもアリバイは証明できませんが、子供たちと一緒に2階へ戻ったのは皆さんも見ているはずです。これを言い出したらキリがないが、窓から飛び降りてローザを襲った。
Yeah, this. Look at this man. Look at this man, Rudolph. Does that look like a man who could jump out of a second-story window and attack a fully grown woman?
雨どいでもよじ登ってまた戻ってきた。めっそうもない。この老体に2階から飛び降りたりよじ登ったり
He's like a million years old. Look at
で
him.
きるわけない。
やめましょう。それよりも互いを信頼し合って子供たちのためにもここの安全を死守することの方が先決です。
Wow, that's a different attitude than episode 1, Natsuhi.
そうだ。夏日さんの言う通りだ。今は内部を疑い合うのをやめよう。
そうね。犯人探しなんて私たちには無用かもしれないわ。
Natsuhi was all in on suspecting people in
た
the
だ
first
あくまで生き残
episode.
り警察に通報してその指示に従うだけ。犯人が誰かなんて警察が必ず暴き出してくれるのだから。
Yeah, always with the police. That'll never happen.
どうしたんやエヴァ。まだ体調が悪いんとちゃうか。
母さんどうしたの？ 大丈夫？
ごめんなさ
She's not feeling too good.
い。まだ熱が
Her
高い
inner
みたいな
Oomphy is running around murdering people.
大丈夫だから放っておいて。
When they looked, they saw Eva staring at the floor, her breathing harsh again. She had been able to act firm for a time due to the urgency of their situation, but it seemed her body wasn't at its best after all.
であの二人は私が殺した。
Hello.
そ
Hello,
れで黄
Oomphy.
金のことを知っているのは私たちだけ。他の兄弟たちにはかけら一つだって譲りはしないの。
なんてことを。あれだけの莫大な黄金なのよ。
It's a lot of gold.
ローザたちに分け前をあげたって全く問題はなかったでしょうに。
あるわよ。あれは後宮家の当主だけが引き継げる黄金なの。だからこそそれは全て丸ごと当主の栄誉そのものなの。それにわずかほどでも傷をつけること。
All for me.
この私、新しき黄金の魔女メアトリーチェが絶対に許さないわ。
魔女の碑文通りに殺人を続けるつもりなの？まさかあと5人も人殺しを続けるつもりなの？
Yes.
ね
Yes.
え、
Yeah.
面倒な儀式を終えないと私の魔女としての力は
She's
完
loving
全
it.
なものにならないらしいの。ねえ、私、この魔女の力は本当にすごいわ。私たちが妄想してきた全てが本当に実現できる。夢が夢でなくなる力なの。この力を知ってしまったらもう魔女はやめられない。
It feels
儀
too
式
good.
を完全に終えて私の力が完全なものになればきっとそれをあなたにも教えてあげられるわ。
Her fucking stupid laugh.
バカなことはやめて。魔女ごっこはもう十分でしょ。私たちは黄金を見つけたわ。そして次期当主の座だって約束されてるわ。ほんの少しの綱渡りは必要だろうけど、もうそれは絶対に叶う夢なのに、これ以上あなたは何を望むというの？
私は魔女になりたかったわ。
Majo.
私そんな夢なんか知らないわよ。
そうよ。その夢を持ち続けてるから私はこの年のままで生きながら。
That's why she's baby.
あなたはその夢を大人になることで捨てたわ。いくら待てども時計を持ったウサギなど訪れないし。
Shake it,
ハッピ
baby.
ーダッディにも会えはしない。
I'm glad we're having fun with Duke.
もちろんトランプの国に招かれたりも絶対にない。あなたはそう諦めてしまったから大人になったのよ。だからもう魔女になりたいなんて思わない。それが本当の自分の夢であったことも忘れてしまったの。
とにかくやめて。
Stop it. Stop killing people.
黄金と当主の座。
But no, it's not enough. It's never
もう
enough.
十分なの。
Not enough. Not enough for inner Oomphy.
あんたの夢なんて知ったことじゃない。おとなしくしてて。
いやよ、魔法面白いもの。それにあなたの2つの夢は私の魔法のおかげで叶ったのよ。なのに私の夢は叶えてはいけないなんて不公平よ。
あなたの魔法には感謝してるし、あなたこそが本当の魔女だと私は認めてるわ。だからもうおとなしく私の胸
Oh,
の
that's
中
not
に帰って
happening. She's been let out. She's not gonna be put back in.
二度と現れないで。
いや
Yeah.
私たちお互いに勘違いしてるわね。そうよ、私はもうあんたじゃないの。あんたは後宮エヴァ、私は黄金の魔女ベアトリーチ。
I'm me, she says.
だからあんたの胸の中に帰る義理はないの。さながらあなたという殻を脱皮して蝶になったような気分かしら。
熱で意識が朦朧とする。
This is probably bad for Eva.
私の魔力が未熟な分をあなたの正規で補ってるの。
Just need a little suck on that good old life
私
force.
が儀式を終えて完全な魔女になるまであなたに負担をかけるかもね。
Just taking a sip every now and then of that old soul.
大丈夫、安心して。
大丈夫。
残る5人の生贄についてはあんたの家族は外してあげるわ。そうね、ルドルフ、キリエ、クラウス、ナツヒ、あとは老いぼれの南條なんか。
Yeah, see, that makes it easy,
ちょ
right?
うどいいわ。この5人を殺すわ。
All nice and tidy.
あなただけに明かす殺害
A murder
の
announcement.
ところかしら。
Coming soon. Direct to you from the Eva Direct. Oh, there she goes. Eva finally crouched down. Hideyoshi rushed up to her and lent her his shoulder.
大丈夫か？無理せんと休もう。
大丈夫かね。南條先生、エヴァを。
When Nanjo and George tried to approach, Eva made a gesture to stop them.
ありがとう。大丈夫よ、南條先生。薬なら飲んでるの。こんな非常事態で申し訳ないけど、もう少しだけ休ませて。
She needs a nap. She needs her nappies.
僕も肩を貸すよ。
ありがとう。お父さんが見ててくれるから平気よ。あなたは2階のいとこ部屋に戻って決して出てこないように。いいわね。何があってもゲストハウスを出ちゃダメよ。
Don't leave, please. Don't do anything that could put you in danger. Please, please, I'm begging.
もう喋るなや。みんなすまんな。わしはエヴァを部屋で看病しとる。なんかあったら呼んでや。
Hideyoshi and Eva retreated from the lobby. However, Eva wasn't the only one who wasn't feeling good. They hadn't gotten a wink of sleep since the previous night and had been pressed by tension since that morning. They were mustering their energy to protect their families, but if they relaxed even a little, surely everyone would be down and out. Yes, it's gonna be very difficult.
難しいとは？
大抵の場合、儀式が進行するにつれ犠牲者が増えると、彼らは守りを固めるようになる。多くの場合、ひとところに固まって動かなくなるんだ。それは我らにとって非常に都合が悪い。
それは私たち魔女が群れた人間に劣るということですか？
魔女が人間に劣ることはない。ただ、時代が変わり、人間が毒を持つようになって。
A poison? Please tell me all about this. I would love to know about the witch poison.
魔法が信じられていた時代は問題なかったのだが、現代人はあの小憎たらしいバトラがそうであるように、基本的に魔法を否定する。つまり、存在自体
I see.
その結果、彼らはいつの間にか
A toxin in their bodies.
否定する毒素を有する。
Are you making this up? This sounds like you're making something
人間
up.
の数が多ければ多いほど、その反魔法の毒素が強くなって、私たち魔女には不利だとおっしゃられるのですか？
彼らの魔法を否定する心の力、すなわち対魔法抵抗力の合計値がそのまま魔法力の分母となるわけだ。わかるか？そなたにはちと難しいか？
ご冗談。
Go Jordan!
実に簡単にわかります。つまり魔法を信じない人間が多ければ多いほど、そしてそ
I guess that makes sense. It's like how in a lot of stories, if you don't believe in gods, they don't have enough power. Like Okami. Everybody's played Okami, right?
そのような計算式ならば攻め方を考え直さなければなりません。
Fundamentally, magic possesses a vast power. It can even make a rain of fire fall from the heavens or divide a sea, and reviving a lost life isn't impossible either. Okay, so we're just saying Jesus was a witch now? I see. However, that power is extremely weak against the toxin that rejects it. And that toxin started piling up in humans since the time they forgot to respect things sacred. Until finally, this earth was covered with enough toxin that the miracles of magic could not be displayed. I mean, they mentioned some very biblical things. Fire from the heavens, parting the ocean, rising from the death. I'm just saying. I think the implication here is that Moses was a witch as well. Thus, witches from across the world were chased from their dwellings. They had been forced to choose to throw away their magic and live as humans, or else live in hiding in remote areas where the toxin of humans didn't reach. In that sense, Rokunjima, with its population of only a few dozen humans, was extremely favorable for witches. And even more favorable was the existence of the ghost story about the witch who lived in the Rokunjima forest. In other words, by permeating the island with the fear that a witch might exist, the magic-resisting toxin from the humans was weakened. A small population, and room for them to acknowledge magical beings. In other words, minds that were only weakly anti-magical. Only by existing in the valley where those two converged could a witch live in modern times.
なるほど。つまりその計算式によるならば、魔女が効率よく力を振るうにはいくつかの
She
ルール
learns
がある
fast.
こ
What
と
can
な
I
んですね。
say?
一つは演出。
Presentation. It's all a part of the presentation. This is very important to me too. You gotta have a flair for the dramatic, baby.
人間の仕業とは思えない殺人を演出し、オカルト的な装飾を施して、彼らに魔女の存在を強くアピールし、浸透させることによって、その結果、反魔法力が減少して、魔法力の分野の減少も
Just makes sense to me.
なるほど。第一の番の不気味な魔法陣の演出などはこれに当たるわけですか。
そうよ、その通り。毎回の第一の番のどぎつい演出はすべてそのためのもの。
I did notice that the murders got less gruesome as time goes on. That's interesting, because it's for that reason.
わらわが残酷なのが好きで面白半分でやってる。
Yeah, definitely not. No, never.
だとしたら先代様、今回のは失敗ですね。殺し方が非常に地味でした。
She's got you there.
ただのミステリーにしか見えません。ロノウェイに聞いていますが、前回や前々回のように遺体をもっと派手に損壊してファンタジーに見せかけ、彼らに恐怖心を植え付けるべきでしたね。
まあ、毎回それでは芸がないと思ってな。
Yeah, you know, you gotta have. It's about the artistry. It's about the display, the drama, the theater.
気まぐれだ。
Yeah, sure it is. Actually, it really had been her whim. After what Battler had said to her, she couldn't say it out loud anymore, but she really had decided her methods of killing based on mere whims. No, would it be better to say that she had half-heartedly let Renovate aside? After all, she left the closed rooms of this game's first twilight to him. But if she'd had a cruel idea, then she would surely have explored the limits of atrocity even worse than in the previous game. That's a very smug face.
ローザとマリアの殺し方についても先代様は自重するようにおっしゃられましたが、それも私たち魔女に利する行為ではありませんね。実際彼らは現時点では魔女が実在するなんてこれっぽっちも信じてません。ファンタジーでなく完全にミステリーだと確信しています。私たち魔女にとって失敗した展開です。
Yo, drag her ass.
ぬるいやり方を繰り返したせいです。
ああ、そうだな。 若いうちの苦労は勝手
You
に
don't
も
get it.
しよう
You're
と
still
言
young.
うではない
You don't get my methods.
先代からそなたへのこれは試練である。慎んで挑むがよいぞ。おっほっほっほっほっほ
Beato tried to laugh heartily, but it was obviously the fake laugh of someone trying to cover something up, and the new witch shrugged with a sigh.
この段階から演出によって反魔法力を減ずるのは多分手遅れでしょうね。となればもう一つの手、人間の分散が良いでしょう。
それが最も効果的であろうぞ。人間の人数が少なければ少ないほど分母の数は減るわけだ。その結果魔法力はてきめんとなる。
I see.
つまりこの籠城状態をいかに崩して少人数に分散させるかがここ。しかし彼らはもはや用心深く、容易には籠城を崩せぬぞ。前々回の金蔵の書斎での籠城、前回の客間での籠城。
Ah, they must be referring to when Natsuhi had the gun and they were all holed up in Kinzo's office.
ましてや今回は老快な大人勢がほとんど残った状態での籠城となっており、状況はこれまで以上に困難である。
I'm very excited to see what Eva Torichi's solution is for
そ
this.
なたが望むなら特別に助言を与えてやってもよいのだ。
In a closed circle, when the first murder case occurs, the survivors always hole up, gathering together to observe each other and ensure their safety. Funnily enough, not only do mystery authors and murder culprits worry about how to break that situation apart, but so do witches who supposedly exist at the other end of the spectrum. For a while, the new witch poked her cheek with her pointer finger, and after acting as though she was planning something, she spoke.
いいえ、結構です。試練ですから。先代様の手は借りません。
Uh-oh, mistakes might have been made.
しかしだな、籠城を崩すのはなかなかに難しいぞ。
すでに手は打ってあります。きっと引っかかるはずです。頭のいいやつならむしろ
Someone smart, so not Battler.
そうか。
So it won't work on Battler.
そなたは優秀であるな。手のかからぬ弟子でわらわは嬉しいぞ。
私、人に聞く前に自分で勉強するがモットーなので。それでは失礼します。獲物がのこのこと誘い出されるのを待たねばなりませんので。
それではしっかりと。
Meow. As the new witch lowered her head, her face blinked, she turned into gold butterflies and vanished. Beato didn't look happy at all. She seemed to be lonely because of how little she was being relied on.
どいつも
A fig!
わらわのことなど構いもせぬ。魔女見習いめ、天狗になりよって。今に手痛いミスをして泣き言を言うに違いないぞ。
Aw, she's so jelly.
その時こそようやくわらわの偉大さを理解し。
Yes, this is exactly how it will happen. You will not be disappointed at all, I'm sure.
それまでわらわは高みの見物よ。
She laughed loudly on the outside, but a laugh no one can hear is completely pointless. Beato gave up and quickly stopped laughing. It's really funny. Renove chose that time to show himself. Hi, Renove.
失礼いたします お嬢様。バトラ様との第2の番のゲームが終了いたしました。
What happened? Who won? That all happened off screen?
ご苦労であった。守備はどうであったか。
申し訳ございません。
You lost?
リザインさせていただ
What?
きま
How
した
did you do it? How did Battler win this one?
バトラ様のローザがマリアを考察、その赤にて両名他殺で切り返したのですが、エヴァを主犯に据えられた一連の指し手を切り返す。
Interesting.
エヴァは秀吉にずっと看病されて部屋で寝ていたであろうが。
秀吉も共犯で、
両名でアリバイを作った可能性を提示されました。
秀吉まで疑うか。
Yeah, Battler's not holding his punches anymore.
殺害時には客室にいたと赤にで叩き切ってやればよいではないか。
それも考えましたが、いずれにせよ数手先でいくつかの大駒を奪われてしまうかもしれません。それにこの手が新しきベアトリーチェ様が撃たれた布石の
Well, you wouldn't want to step on her toes.
それを尊重することといたしました。申し訳ありません。
布石か。あやつ頭が切れるようだからの。好きにさせて。
I wonder if Evotris will end up arguing with Battler instead of Beato and
ど
Renove.
こまでやれるか見ものだ。
I'd be curious to see how that goes.
そうおっしゃると思いました。弟子が可愛くないので。
Uncuteness. She is uncute.
余計なお世話だ。あやつめ。ここからの籠城をどう崩していくつもりなのか。わらわもじっくり拝見させてもらうとするぞ。ああ。それで。バトラの機嫌の方は。
Aw, she's asking about him.
落ち着いておられるように見えました。やはりお嬢様が相手でないと盛り上がらないとおっしゃっておいで
He
で
was
したね。
talking about me?
そうか。そうであろう、そうであろう。第4の番以降は、やはりわらわが復帰しないと、バトラも寂しかろうな。
それでは私は
Now I'm leaving. I no longer want to talk with you.
美味しいクッキーを焼かねばなりませ
I
ん。
want some of Renove's cookies. They
せ
sound
めてお
good.
嬢様とバトラ様のお話が弾みますように。
うん。あいつ、お前のクッキーボリボリ食ってたな。
He was munching. He was having a snack.
やはり男の子だからお腹がすくのであろう。多めに焼いてやれ。
かしこまりました。
We gotta keep him happy.
クッキ
I
ー
want
で
him to
テー
talk
ブ
to
ルを
me
埋め
again.
てご覧に入れましょう。
それが良いぞ。
She's so funny in this one.
なんだよ話って何？
Kyrie called Rudolph out into the corridor. It was obvious that she wanted to talk about something that she didn't want the others to hear.
あのね
おう
表へ出たい
Oh boy, I'm sure this will go well. Kyrie is pretty smart, so I guess it's working on her. What time is it? It's 1. It's 1 p.m. It's 1 o'clock. Things are intensifying. Things are picking up.
確かにわずかばかりの朝食では体が持たないが
We hungry.
しかしもちろん分かってるさ。だがな、時間を置けばどんどん暗くなってくる。多分今が一番明るい。今が一番都合がいいんだ。
ローザさんたちが襲われてからまだ1時間も経ったかどうかですよ。いくらなんでも不用心です。
It was only natural that Natsuki was yelling about recklessness. After all, Rudolph had said he was going to the mansion to get food. Certainly, on top of their fatigue, their hunger was tormenting them. In the beginning, a mild level of hunger had been just what they needed to fight off drowsiness. However, it now just made their minds hazy, since it was still only midday and their bodies felt like they were reaching their limits. The thought of going to the kitchen in the mansion and bringing back some food certainly was attractive.
私は反対です。多少は辛いでしょうが、断じてここを出るべきではありません。
私たちはいい。だが子供たちにひもじい思いをさせるのは心がいい。
Sure, Wood Krause, I'm sure you care a
親と
lot.
して責任を負わねばならない。
あなた、お父様が亡くなられた今、後宮家の当主はあなたです。そのような危険を冒すことは許されません。
そうね夏日さんの言う通りよクラウスさんはリーダーとしてここに残るべきね
なら誰が屋敷へ行くんだね。俺と桐江、あと秀吉兄さんの3人で行こうと思う。 俺と秀吉兄さんは
We all have
銃を持って
guns. We're
そう簡単
strapped.
に向こ
We
う
got
も
them
手出しは
things
できない
on
は
us.
ずだ。
ローザさんも銃を持っていましたが襲われました。危険ではありませんか？
ローザたちの様子を確かめに出た時、銃を持っていたが、俺は一人だった。だが襲われなかった。男が相手なら、向こうも慎重なのかもしれないぜ。
I don't think that makes much of a difference if you're holding a gun either way.
男性が
Like gender gets kind of eliminated when the guns are in the play.
そしてさらに銃も2丁。2人にはご英訳に徹してもらって、荷物は台車で私が運ぶわ。
Alright, Kyrie. You're in charge of pushing the payload.
ローザさんの時とは状況が明らかに異なるはずよ。
わしを男と見込んでの話なら喜んで協力させてもらうで。こう見えても屋台を引いて鍛えた体や。力仕事は任せてえな。
男性はご英訳に徹してくれていいの。使用人室に折りたたみ式の台車があったから、それを使えば私一人でも十分に食料が運べるわ。もちろん用心はす
He
る。
does look very excited, doesn't he?
そしてこの冒険を一度だけ成功させれば、私たちはここを出る危険を冒す必要はないの。なんとか考え直せませんか？皆さんに空腹を強いるのは心苦しいですがしかし今の外は何が起こるか分かりません。
用心するで。それにエヴァはだいぶ体調が悪いんや。空腹にはできん。胃袋が空っぽじゃ飲める薬も飲めんわ。エヴァのためにもわしは出かけにはならんのや。
エヴァの具合はどうなんだね。
ようやく寝入ってくれたとこや。
She's not great.
熱も高い。しばらくそっとしたってや。
妻の体調があっては座してもいられんか。わかった。外出を許可しよう。じゃあ俺たちは
I'm sure this will end very well for all three of these characters.
スピード勝負だ。
A speed contest.
缶詰は OK だよな。缶切りくれこっちにあるよな。
はい、缶切りと栓抜きはあります。ゲストハウスに水道があるから飲み物は不要よね。10人分もあるんだから好き嫌いは言わせないわ。
よっしゃ。出だって走ってって。
This sounds like a very sound plan.
傘なんてさせてる暇あらへんで。
じゃあ兄貴、留守番を頼むぜ。気をつけてな。本当ならば
I'm very interested because so many of the adults have lasted so long this time. I'm interested to see who will get whittled down fastest. Obviously, I think we can tell who the next three will be.
男に生まれながらこのような急場で力を貸せぬ長男の肩
I feel like Kraus is being surprisingly genuine here as well. I think he means everything he's been saying in this scene.
俺らには見せ場がないのさ。たまには
Yeah, there's been a lot of time between killings in this episode too. I feel like it's probably gonna speed up now that Evatrice is in charge.
じゃあな、夏日さん。タオルの準備でもして待っててくれ。傘はささねえから濡れネズミで帰ってくるぜ。
わかりました。お気をつけて。
Rudolph, Kyrie, and Hideyoshi, each leaving their own brave words behind, left the lobby. Oh boy, oh boy! Let's see how this goes for our daring trio. Compared to the time Rosa and Maria had gone outside, the winds were much stronger. Rudolph's group of 3 people jogged through the rose garden without umbrellas, holding their guns and a folded cart. If everything had been still and quiet, without the wind and the rain, they would probably have kept their ears open and moved with caution. But in this rain, even if some suspicious person was hiding nearby, it would be difficult to notice them. Because of that, it had been Rudolph's plan to instead dash through the dangerous area. If there was a chance that their opponent was equipped with a gun, then walking slowly with their guard up would only make them targets. Taking swift actions was probably the correct choice. Yeah, I've noticed in this episode it's been much more focused on the adults too. Like, we really haven't seen a lot of, like, outside the argument zone battler and Jessica and George. I feel like that's balanced out there because episode 2 had a lot of focus on George and Jessica.
カモがネギしょってきたと思うとるかもしれんで。
頼むぜ。誰も出てきてくれるなよ。
Even as Rudolph and Hideyoshi continued to run, they looked around restlessly, vigilant of their surroundings. Rosa and Maria's deaths had not been caused by a projectile weapon. However, it was easy to suspect that the servants had been killed in such a manner. Will they come flying out of the dark, or will they take careful aim and snipe from the shadows? Either way, they couldn't relax their tension for even an instant. I have no clue what any future episode could have been about. This visual novel has consistently surprised me in every single turn, so I'm not even going to speculate about future events. It's been pretty crazy. I'm just going to speculate about where I think the mystery is going. But even so, when they reached the overhang in front of the entrance of the mansion and escaped the reach of the raindrops, they felt themselves breathing a sigh of relief.
まずは問題なしやな。ローザさんの時とは違う。うかつに手は出せんやろ。
そう信じたいね。キリエ、俺たちが見張ってる間に。
Battler buys Fortnite. Now that would be a twist. Beatrice does a headshot on him and starts doing the whip.
SP が2人もついたお屋敷に帰宅だなんて実にエグゼクティブな気分よ。
赤絨毯で召使いのお出迎えがあれば完璧や。
お出迎えか。あるかもな。用心しようぜ。
As the two cautiously surveyed their surroundings, Kyrie unlocked the entrance with the master key she had been given.
開いたわ。
秀吉兄さん、戦闘を頼めるか。俺は背後を警戒するぜ。
了解や。キリエさん、わしの影から出ないようにな。
They're playing soldier right now. They're having a... Men love doing this. We love playing soldier. Not me, really, but this is a common guy thing. They're having a great time with this. I think they're having more fun than they're letting on.
男の人ってな。
Yeah, exactly, Kyrie.
この状況をちょっぴり楽しんでるでしょう。
I see? See? She knows. She gets it.
諦めろよ。それが男ってもんだぜ。しかし、相変わらずひでえ匂いだな。
Crispy grandpa. It felt like the air in the mansion was stagnant with a gloomy silence. And on top of that, it was still thick with the stench from Kinzo's burnt corpse in the boiler room. And they were struck with an uncontrollable desire to leave the mansion.
前方、問題ないで。
This is a very Resident Evil type scene. A bunch of people with guns running into a spooky mansion.
とっとと済ませて引き上げよう。スーツが親父の匂いで訓示されちまうぜ。
The three of them dash towards the kitchen. It is a very dude's rock moment, isn't it? Oh no! Who could have seen? Oh no! Who could have predicted this? And after they disappeared from the entrance hall, the new witch appeared there.
まんまと誘い出されたわね。私の罠にまんまと引っかかってくれた。
The witch grinned. Thinking about it now, no matter how unbearable their hunger had grown, it hadn't even been a few hours since Rosa and Maria had been attacked and had lost their lives. In that case, why had they needed to recklessly leave the guest house? Until that question could be dealt with, the only answer was that they had been called out by the witch's magic.
不用心なやつら。もう生きてこの屋敷からダッシュはしないわ。閉じよ、鍵よ、屋敷よ。
The instant she proclaimed that... Uh-oh. The mansion was sealed off into a separate world. Unless her barrier was undone, no longer would anyone be able to exit this mansion or enter it. The whole mansion is a locked room now.
無限の魔女を継承してからまだ半日も経たないのにその才能に驚きます。まるであなたは生まれながらにしての魔女のようだ。
だって私生まれた時から魔女だもの。あなたは瞬きの仕方を誰かに習うの？私が魔法を使えるのは、
She's bragging a little bit. She's a little bragging. Renove looks so uncomfortable. Look at that face. He doesn't look very happy to be here. The witch's face twisted with brutality. She just couldn't help looking forward to toying with someone's life again.
さてさて。
Yeah, I know. New boss, same as the old boss, right, Renove?
まずはルドルフとキリエなわけだけど、どんな残酷な殺し方をしてやろうかしら。
失礼ながら、先代様より不必要な残酷なる殺害は
Battler doesn't like it. I don't like it when Battler doesn't like it. I want him to pay attention to me again.
そして第4の晩以降は生贄の捧げ方に作法が
That's true. She does have to kill them in those unique stabbing ways.
それには煉獄の七姉妹の力を借りねばなりません。
あら、そうだったの？そういえばそうだったわね。好き勝手に遊べるのはさっきの第2の晩までなのね。つまんないわ。またローザの時みたいに思い切り遊べると思ったのに。でもそれは最後の殺し方。
Yeah, I can mess around with them a bit before they're finally killed for realsies.
申しますと、
私が何度どれほどの殺し方をしようとも生き返る。
This feels like a loophole in the rules of the ritual, but okay.
最後に非分の殺し方に沿えばいいわけでしょ。つまり私がどう遊ぼうと結局は問題ないってことになるわ。こんなに面白い力、誰がおとなしくなんかするもんか。
The stupid fucking laugh gets me every time. Her absurd argument was, for an endless witch, an extremely valid one. The etiquette that controlled the manner of killing the sacrifices of the fourth twilight and onward was represented by lines like gouge the head. However, that reference to the way those people died in the end. In other words, in the process leading up to that, she was free to tease and kill them however she wanted. She just had to keep on reviving them and follow the rules only when she killed them the final time. Though Renove felt that her innocent cruelty was part of her talent as a witch, he was beginning to notice an innately brutal side of her.
魔女は見習いが最も残忍と申しますが、
They haven't learned restraint yet.
ご随意にと申し上げたいところですが、ここはやはり自重なさった方が賢明でしょう。彼らは銃を持っています。
Watch out, they're gonna shoot you.
銃のような反魔法力の高い武器は魔女が
Ah, yes, a witch's greatest weakness, a gun. The witch stared blankly at this demon butler who was surprisingly afraid of guns.
話が違うわ。魔女は弾丸なんか追いかけられてもへっちゃらじゃないのかしら。
いいえ、普通の人間と全く同じように致命傷となります。その弱点を蹴取らせないために、多くの魔女は厳重に防御結界や家具の
Yeah, you just make a bunch of guys to throw themselves in front of you. It's like Skullgirls.
私にその防御結界というのはあるの？
銃弾をも無効にする結界の構築には十分な準備と儀式が必要です。残念ながら今のベアトリーチェ様にはございません。また
Sorry, you gotta play a little more fair.
家具の召喚も現在はその準備がありません。
これほどの魔力を持つ大魔女になりながら、それでもやはり鉛玉に怯えなければならないのね。不愉快だけど仕方がないわ。となれば
Yeah, that's right, this has gotta be a sneaking mission.
私の手足とすればいいわけね。
はい、危険に身をさらさず家具に全てを任すのもまた魔女の優雅なるたしなみでございます。ここは家具に任せ、ベアトリーチェ様は安全なところへお隠れ。
I don't think she's gonna do that. That doesn't sound very fun for her. But maybe she will.
煉獄の七姉妹？誰でもいいわ。適当に二人。
Leviathan and Belphegor responded to that call.
嫉妬のレビアタン、ここに。
怠惰のベルフェゴール、ここに。
あんたたちの力を見せてもらうわ。標的はルドルフとキリエ。秀吉はダメよ。さあ、あなたたちがどれだけ残酷な家具なのか、私に見せてみて。
The furniture do love being cruel, the stakes at least.
恐れながら 先代様より不要なる残酷行為は控えるようご命令を賜っております。
I wanted to be cruel, though.
でも先代様のご命令の範囲内でいたぶることはできると思います。それでもよろしいですか？わかった。それで妥協するわ。
Compromise is the heart of agreement, they say.
簡単に殺してはダメよ。徹底的に追い詰めて死の恐怖を味わわせてから殺すのよ。それでいいのかしら、ロノウェ？
はい。程度をお考えいただければ問題ない。
Yeah, sure, whatever.
ならお行きなさい。はい、お任せを。
相手は銃で武装しています。あなたたちほどのものならばかわすことはたやすいでし
Just
ょう。
don't fuck it up.
もしも当たれば致命傷です。
Just don't fuck it up.
くれぐれも用心を。
ご心配なく、そのような無様は晒しません。
Yeah, I don't know about that. So far, you have failed multiple times. The two sisters of Purgatory vanished. Renove bowed and vanished himself.
殺し方にまでルールがね。なんで私が先代様に気兼ねしなくちゃならないの？
Good question.
窮屈でつまらない。
As the witch looked up at the portrait of the predecessor Beatrice hung in the hall, she cursed. The three people had already arrived at the kitchen and were gathering food supplies. Considering the possibility of poison, they gave up on the alluring fruits and vegetables, and gathered a whole cardboard box full of only the safe canned foods. It was very heavy, but by piling it on the cart, they could carry it well enough. There should be more than enough for 10 people to hold out until tomorrow's breakfast. That should carry them until the boat arrives. The two men were supposed to be focused solely on guard duty, but the weight of the load was tough on Kirie even with the cart. Hideyoshi, who wanted to show off his power, switched to be the cart pusher, and Rudolph and his wife took up the task of guard duty. He just wanted to be big and strong. Then Hideyoshi vigorously announced their departure. Kirie frowned and seemed to be gazing into the distance. There was a wall in that direction. No, if her gaze could go through that, there was the main hall beyond it.
チリチリするの。嫌な予感がするわ。
Got a bad feeling about this. Kirie stopped walking and narrowed her eyes even further. At times like this, Kirie's intuition often rang true, and even when she didn't have a logical reason. Rudolph believed in that intuition.
多分私たちは待ち伏せされてる。さっきまではその気配はなかったの。
She can sense their key.
でもたった今感じたわ。たった待ち伏せられた。
なら来た道を戻る義理はねえな。そこに勝手口があるじゃねえか。そっちから出よう。
Rudolph made to unlock the back door. When goods were carried into the kitchen, they never passed through the part of the mansion that the family came and went from. So outside the back door, there was probably a ramp used to carry things in. Surely they would be able to leave through there with the cart.
なんだこりゃ。勝手。くそ。どうなってんだ。
開かないの？
ああ、壊れてんのかな。びくともしねえぜ。
Oh, that's right. She sealed the whole mansion. Rudolph tried various things, first using force, then coaxing it, but the lock was as hard as stone and didn't even budge.
無理せんと玄関から出ようや。もたもた時間を潰す方が今は惜しいで。
これが罠だってのか。
わからない。用心して。
With strained expressions, the three of them returned to the hall again and headed for the entrance.
誰だ。
The instant they exited into the hall, Rudolph noticed a suspicious shadow right in front of them and yelled. In that instant, a storm of gold leaves started blowing and gold butterflies covered the area with a gold color. Oh boy! It's them, the sisters.
人間ごときが我らの待ち伏せを予見したか。
私のせいじゃないわよ。気配は消してたもん。躊躇しないで。撃って。
Blast him! The two guns spouted fire. The lead bullets blasted right through the magical defense of the pair as easily as though it were a wet paper wall, but the two figures that should have been there had disappeared. Certainly, guns were frightening objects for them. There was no need to fear as long as they weren't hit. Just don't get shot. Easy advice, right? They at least had enough speed to dodge those. Yeah, it's like when they won't let you finish your transformation sequence. Leviathan was a full 10 meters from where she had supposedly been, popping her head out from behind the pillars in the shadow of the staircase and protesting. It would be very funny if they actually get shot. Because they have to follow the orders to, like, hunt them. That voice came from overhead. Belphegor could be seen on top of the hall chandelier. Elegantly looking down upon them, she proclaimed their execution with a cruel smile. All three of them were well acquainted with the inside of the mansion. In a case of crisis, they had planned to run off in separate directions, returning to the guest house by breaking windows or leaving through a back door. Fighting was forbidden, as long as they could fully escape. Nigerundayo! We're getting out of here! The three of them ran into the depths of the mansion at full tilt. That pair of furniture calmly watched them go. Oh, it's this song. I love this song. The furniture in the shadows of the pillars and on the chandelier made their figure explode, and, leaving behind only the sound of a hopping beetle knocking against the wall, they pursued their prospective targets. Yes, that's the name of the song, World End Dominator. I love how World End is one word, that's funny. Their speed was overwhelming, and they easily blocked the other paths of the retreat. We need, like, we need a light gun shooter that takes place in the mansion, and you're just shooting your way through all the furniture, like the goats and the stakes. It's like House of the Dead. Belphegor was already blocking the way in front of Rudolph, who had boldly tried to escape to the second floor. Yeah, VR. I guess, yeah, we can't really do light guns anymore. Let's do it, just make it VR. Classic Rudolph. Energy Sword Sunday is back, baby. Rudolph shot first. Just that flat statement is so funny. Oh my god, I love Rudolph's pretty great. Yeah, we know where Ryakushi stands on certain issues. But even before that bullet could hit her, Belphegor had already moved behind Rudolph's back, teleports behind you. She then raised a purple curve springing out from her arm. However, incredibly, before that arm could decapitate Rudolph, he had swung his gun behind him. Gunslinger? He's doing like Dante's shotgun gunslinger moves where he like points it behind him. The barrel remained pointing behind his back from the same motion with which he had reloaded the sawed-off gun one-handed. What, like he's the Terminator? He was pointing right at Belphegor's chest. Click, ka-chunk. It was the sound of the ejected empty cartridge finally hitting the wall after the reload. In other words, it meant that the next shot was already fully loaded. Rudolph Rudolph gunslinger style. Without turning around, his gun pointed right at Belphegor's chest. Rudolph grinned.
やるな
He's so cool.
中年男の分際で
西部劇世代をなめるんじゃねえぞガキどもにエヴァアクションの渋みは語らせねえ
I really need Battler to comment on this moment specifically. It's like, what? Since when is my dad cool? Just like Rudolph, Kyrie was also confronting a demon stake in the first floor corridor.
間抜けなやつね。夫と一緒に逃げればよかったのに。さっきの根性の別れになったわよ。大丈夫よ。うちの人、こういうのとても得意なの。すぐに白馬で迎えに来てくれる。
I love how Rudolph and Kyrie are all just talking mad shit. It's so funny.
彼が助けに来てくれなかったことはないんだから。アスムさんがいた頃であってもね。
He loved me more than his actual life. Isn't that great?
本当に仲のいい夫婦ね。私は嫉妬のレビアタン。嫉妬するわ。嫉妬こそ我が力、我が怒り、我が源泉。同感ね。嫉妬は女の力の。
Envy is the source of a woman's power.
それが力だというなら、あなたごときお嬢ちゃんになんか負けない。
I'm so full of envy you don't even know. My hidden depths of envy.
嫉妬を司る私によくも言えたわね。お前たち夫婦再会などさせるものか。悲劇的な別れを与えてやるわ。
The arm Leviathan swung was trailed by a purple curve. It was a magic blade that cut with the power of malice. Kyrie blocked it with her gun. So based. Even though the magic blade should have cut through the metal like butter, the gun, with its extremely high magic resistance power, was able to block the blade as easily as if it were a rolled up newspaper. Rapidly, 2 times, 3 times, it blocked all of them. She's so cool! And without missing the opening created when that purple curve took a swing upward, Kyrie kicked Leviathan in the stomach with her heel. Leviathan was knocked away like a lightly dancing feather. Jesus, why didn't they just give Cannon a shotgun? He could have handled all 7 of them at that moment. Before the demon's stake feet touched the ground again, Kyrie was already pointing her gun directly at Leviathan in midair. From that position, the 2 women who had called envy a form of power met each other's gaze. Can you shoot me, who was just trying to stab you? Get her ass! Oh my god! Rudolph tumbled down the staircase. He'd been gradually cornered by Belphegor and had been pushed back into the main hall they'd started from. Why am I getting shot to death?
なのか
それはかつて私の名だった。でも今は違うわよ、ルドルフ。
言わなくても分かってください。
I love it. He's prepared. He's gonna shoot this bitch.
ペアトリーチェだって
どうしてわかったの？
ローザが殺された時から想像がついた。
It was actually kind of obvious.
ローザ、お前の地獄にお前の大嫌いな姉を。
Get her! Oh my god! Rudolph mercilessly pointed the barrel of his gun at the witch who claimed to have once been his sister, but Belphegor would not permit that and attacked savagely. She dashed, disappeared, and headed for Rudolph's back. She dodged that shot and again headed for Rudolph's back, and vanished over and over, instantly moving into Rudolph's blind spots. Oh yeah, he also thinks, I didn't catch that, he's like saying Rosa's in hell too, that's funny. It was almost like she was a fairy. As she blinked in and out of vision, Belphegor incessantly drove towards Rudolph.
これはこれで楽しいかもしれない。ルドルフ、あんたの検討がどこまで続くかゆっくり見物させてもらうわ。
God, she laughs like a 4-year-old. I know that's the point, but it's so funny. At that time, there was a dull tearing sound, along with Rudolph's cry of anguish. Rudolph's reaction to the dance of the purple curve that pressed upon him had finally been too slow, and he let it slightly cut his flank. That single wound slowed him down just once. That led to a new wound, which slowed his actions again. Belphegor's dance began to swallow Rudolph whole. Watching Rudolph's body gradually get carved up, his former sister let out a shrill laugh. Leviathan could no longer hide her irritation that Kyrie hadn't suffered a single fatal wound. Wait, when did she get shot? What happened? Please tell us. Oh, I want to hear everything she has to say. What kind of trust did we sisters have for each other? The sisters are always looking down on each other, trying to thoroughly lambaste each other when things already look so bad. Oh, I'm just slurping up all of that jealousy. The speed of sound. Leviathan turned herself into a stake, and the speed of her flight as she attacked was proportional to the strength of her envy. Whee! The demon stake exposed her true form, leaping about at terrible speed. The noise from her bouncing off the walls sounded like a machine gun. By now, Kyrie probably couldn't tell if it was a single stake or a swarm of beetles flying and bouncing around. Leviathan was over 100% certain of her victory, believing it in it from the bottom of her heart. Then, Kyrie spoke with an unbelievably calm voice. Let's hear it. I want to hear what she has to say. Kyrie is so cool. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, none of this was Rudolph's fault. No, absolutely not. You've got some interesting thoughts, Kyrie. I'll give you that. A boy? I thought it was a girl. God damn, Rudolph! How'd you manage that one? That probably wasn't Rudolph. It was probably her former lover or whatever. But I still think it'd be funny if you somehow impregnated them both on the same day.
だけれど私はダメだ
Unfortunate.
思ったことがあるわもしダメだったのがアスムさんで
Yeah, that man is
出産したの
viral.
が私だった
Virile, sorry.
ルドルフさんに婚約を解消して私と結婚してくれたかしらでも私は子供を産めなかっただからアスムさんが死ぬまでそしてエンジェを解任するまで私はアスムさんを呪ったわ
We haven't seen Ange yet. I wonder if she's just background. Like,
アスムさんなんか死んでしまうそして私と再婚してほしいってずっと嫉妬して呪ってそしてやっとアスムさんが死んだ
must have been my fault. I made her die because I wished for it hard enough.
私には魔法の力があってそれが呪い
That is how that works, right?
確信した
You wish for someone to die hard enough and they just drop dead.
私の嫉妬の炎は収まらない内緒よバトラ君を見るたびにねあの女を思い出しちゃうそしてバトラ君を見るたびにねもし私の子が生まれていたら同じ年だっただろうな
I mean, I don't know. Miscarriage is a rough thing to deal with. I think I get it.
私は今でも彼女を嫉妬し苛まれて
I think I can understand her.
今も
Sympathize, even.
未来永劫にね7日7番姉妹を嫉妬したですって
She looks so smug.
そうよ
笑わせるなよ小娘
Yo!
てめえに男を取られて18年間嫉妬し続ける女の狂気がわか
Get her ass. Destroy this girl. Listen, Sota. A fact about every Ushiromiya woman is that they all seem to be petty bitches. So, most of the men too, honestly. If Leviathan had the power of 24 hours times 7 days, or 168 hours of speed, then the power that Kyrie had piled up was 24 hours in 1 day, 365 days in 1 year, and 18 whole years. Even without counting leap years, that was 157,680 hours. Compared to Leviathan's power and speed, it was more than 938 times greater. This rules! So then, even if Leviathan could soar at the speed of sound, 1,225 kilometers per hour, to Kyrie's eyes, it only looked like 1/938th of that. Which means, you see, I'm a genetic freak. You look at me, and then you look at Leviathan, and you see that she has no chance of winning. Which means 1,225 divided by 938 is a speed of 1.30 kilometers per hour. They say a human's walking speed is 4 kilometers per hour, so it was even less than half of that. The numbers don't lie, Leviathan. This is almost the same speed as a baby crawling on the floor. Which means... See, Rudolph has Gunslinger, Kyrie has Quicksilver, it all makes sense. In the time it took the demon stake to move at a pace so slow that you could count all the bits of dust floating through the air, Kyrie looked at it with pity. She pitied the slowness at which it came towards her. Spray it. Then she lazily raised the barrel of her gun. Almost as though she was trying to swallow the demon stake up with the gun barrel. You can't compare to the envy of a MILF, you little girl. I didn't expect you to say little girl. Holy fuck. She's so cool. Let's figure out what's going on with Rudolph. Does he get one last moment? Does he get a good last stand?
死んだら面白みも何もないもう十分よ殺しちゃえば
殺せば
そこまで刻まれてよくぞここまで耐えた。もう十分だ。あとは何も考えなくていい。痛みなく生を奪い去っている。
待ってくれ。あの兄が最後にあれが
What do you want to do? What do you want to do, Rudolph? Please tell me.
あれとは何か。
西部劇名物のあれだよ。背中を向け合ってから3歩歩いて
Yes!
ズドン
Yes, please!
決闘か。
Please!
よかろう。それにて根性の未練が尽きるのだ。受けて。
I need Rudolph to draw from the hip. Rudolph moved his wound-covered body and turned his back to her. Belphegor responded and turned her back to his. Belphegor had an honest nature that was uncommon in a witch's furniture.
言っておく。たとえ私の眉間に銃口を突きつけたとしても、私はお前が引き金を引き、私の頭蓋骨に弾丸が至るよりも早く瞬間移動することができる。
そいつはもう骨身に染みてるぜ。お前は銃弾より早い。
それを知りつつ決
早い。
闘を挑むお前の度胸に敬意を表し、付き合うのだ。感謝する。
お前は律儀なやつだね。いい女。惚れそうだぜ。
始めるぞ。
I don't think that's a high bar to clear.
3歩で良いのだな。まずは
そして2歩。
3歩だ。
Draw!
これでいいのか。
そして3歩も歩いて
Oh god, what is it? What are you plotting? What is he doing?
俺の勝ちだ。
何？
Did he just shoot her in the back? Rudolph turned around and fired a bullet. However, Belphegor could easily see through the speed and trajectory of a bullet like that. It should have been no problem at all to dodge it. But a spray of fresh blood flew about. Belphegor had set up an adequate magical defensive barrier, but before an incarnation of anti-magic power such as that bullet, it was completely meaningless.
何やってんのよ何当たっちゃってんの
The bullet had hit Belphegor right in the chest. The pain from the lead caused her to grimace, as did the pain from the denial of magic.
許せ。俺は卑怯の。
今日ダメだわ魔女の家具ともあろうものが人間に
Did he just not do the 3 paces? Like, he just lied to her?
恥を知りなさいよ情けないみっともない勝手に這いつくばって死んじゃえな
こいつはかわせた。だがかわさなかった。車線上に姉貴がいることに気づいたんです。
That's so good!
だから律儀なこいつはかわさずに受けて姉貴大手飛車取りに最後に気づいた。
I love chess metaphors!
見事。
悪く思う。お前が3歩歩く間にそれに気づけたら俺は神だ。
あの3歩、私の手心だったか。考えようと
This is why you don't stop thinking. Battler talks about this all the time.
私は大だった。
お前はいい女だぜ。
I can't believe they actually did it.
化粧してきっと口説きに行く。
Going to the big hostess club in the sky, this Rudolph is. As Belphegor slowly fell over, she lost even the power that kept her in human form, and she grew small like gold dust melting into thin air. At that point, Kyrie dashed in. It seemed that she had somehow defeated her pursuer by her own hands. As she pointed the barrel of her gun straight at the witch, she ran up to the wound-covered Rudolph.
大丈夫？今誰か口説いてなかった？
ああ、いい女だったぜ。もちろん、お前の次程度です。
Her tits were smaller than yours.
悪い。
Oh my god, jackpot?
チェックメイトです。
Checkmate is also good. The two of them pinned the witch down the barrels of their guns.
情けない
Jackpot.
人間相手に遅れを取るなんて情けない。
Sweet Creamy, a redeemed flirt. I adore this song too, Sweet Creamy. You know, we have so much in common. We have so much in common. I love that we have so much in common, such as liking Umineko songs. We're really two peas in a pod, you and I. All snug up and close. In this pod.
くだらない。つまらない。
ベアトリーチェ様、ここは
We got owned, Beatrice-sama. We gotta leave.
防ぐ結界もかここにはありません。
It would be so funny if, like, Eva ascends to witchhood and then she just gets shot.
Let's rock.
That's a good face. The witch began to let out a muffled laugh. It surprised not only Rudolph and Kyrie, but Renove as well.
Damn.
Because a situation like this, with two guns pointed at her, was not one that even a witch could just laugh off. But the witch laughed with pleasure.
そりゃ先代様の使い古しの家具じゃ無理で当然ね。
Uh-oh. She's got an ace up her sleeve, I think.
私にふさわしい新しい家具じゃないとダメよ。私義理で使ったけど、もともとお風呂は嫌いなの。
As she said that, she looked down at Belphegor's remains, which had already finished turning into a pile of gold dust with disgust.
何の話をしてるかわからねえぜ。おとなしく両手を上げやがれってんだ。
Then the witch obediently raised her hands, but instead of raising her hands because a gun was being pointed at her, it looked more like she was conductor facing an orchestra, waving her conductor's baton.
さあさあおいでなさい。
Uh-oh.
私にふさわしき家具たち。
What have we here?
あんな安っぽい家具じゃなくて、もっともっと強力な残酷なうわ妙な真似はやめて。引き金を引くわ。
Just do it, please. This song is called Dance of the Moon Rabbits? That's great. I'm gonna steal that one. In response to the witch's call, the hall was once again buried with the color of gold. As the brilliantly radiant gold butterflies danced, it felt as though they were being sucked into an ocean of gold leaf. Renove was shocked at this upsurge in magical power. After all, it far surpassed that of his former master. As their eyes were dazzled amidst this golden flash, a gunshot could be heard. Either Rudolph or Kyrie had fired around. They do not hesitate. Then, when the golden flash subsided, at the very least the witch was standing there, looking cool and composed. The bullet? Kyrie must have fired it into her, but the witch had not been hit anywhere on her body. There it is. The bullet had been fastened in midair right in front of the witch's chest. Oh, she managed to make that pretty fast. In an instant, a barrier that would require a significant amount of preparation even for the predecessor had been... Renove's face had twisted in shock. And the surprises did not end there. Oh boy, even more characters! You thought there were too many characters in this visual novel already, but here they come. Here comes some more. The cloud of gold butterflies had created two humanoid forms. It was a furniture summoning. Yo, bunnies! Bunny! Bonoy! The butterflies peeled off and flew away, and beneath them, furniture in the shape of girls showed themselves. The what? The Chiester Sister Corps. Pendragon's memorial troops? Like King Arthur?
シエスタ410ここにシエスタ45ここに
I like their blue and pink.
私にふさわしい家具なんでしょうね、あんたたちは。
絵本の朗読から同伴デートに隕石撃墜まで幅広くお答えしますよ。にひひお答えしないと竜王様に怒られます。
Did they mean actual King Arthur?
ご命令を大ベアトリーチェ卿。
ルドルフさん、逃げましょう。
Yeah, we should go.
こいつらはダメだわ。
Kyrie definitely heard warning sirens going off in her head, thanks to the same feeling that had alerted her to the ambush by the Seven Sisters of Purgatory. Without hesitation, they escaped. As the witch elegantly watched them leave, she commanded her new furniture.
命令よ、逃げた二人を殺して、そして死体をここへ持ち帰りなさい。そしたら生き返らせて
Oh boy.
遊ぶのよ。
Fun, fun, fun. God, here's the fucking laugh. It gets me so much every time. Pt.14 is Eri Kitamura. She voices Churi. Oh yeah, that did sound familiar. And 45 is Mariko Mizuno. This is pretty much her only role. Okay. The witch's expression twisted into an evil smile. Even though she feared that expression, Lucifer appeared and spoke.
恐れながら、先代様よりそのような残酷行為は慎むようにと。
When the witch stared at her with those terrifying eyes, Lucifer was struck dumb. She was frustrated. It was so boring not being able to let her own power and cruelty run wild. This annoying furniture of the predecessor kept telling her how to show restraint, bringing her irritation to a peak.
傲慢のルシファーちゃんじゃない。お久しぶりに元気
No, Sina. What are you, a cat or a bunny?
ましょうね。410死後はダメです。怒られます。大ベアトリーチェ卿のご命令を迅速に遂行を。にひお仕事の時間だね。410了解。
What does that say? It's backwards. What does it say? Firing guidance system. What does that say? Startups. Firing guidance system startup. What is this, a laser?
追撃狙撃戦準備。地形データ収集。射撃用データ収集。
What? Are they firing the positron rifle from Evangelion? Commence data accumulation.
410データリンク。410データ受領。
Formulating firing curve.
標的を捕捉。地形誤差修正。射撃曲線形成。制御点補正完了。
What? They have to have like a bunch of cooling systems?
45へデータリンク。45データ受領。
Accuracy 97.89%.
危険区域確認。
Or is that 6? No, that's 9.
そこはダメです。後ろ邪魔だよルシファーちゃん。バックファイアで焼けるよ。
The back blast? Thanks to their paired measurements, the Schuster sisters were able to instantly calculate the terrain throughout the mansion and the coordinates of their targets, as well as a firing curve to reach them. That's right, their shots could be guided to follow a curved line. No one could escape. The precision guidance used by the Seven Sisters of Purgatory was nothing more than a cheap knockoff of the ability these two hold.
45射撃準備完了。弾種選定装填。
Ammo type? What ammo type? As the two of them faced each other, it was as though they were both pulling back a bowstring together. A dazzling golden arrow was readied there.
410射撃。
After giving that announcement, they released a single arrow together. As the path taken by the gold-sparkling snake of light drew a curve, it followed the direction that Rudolph and Kyrie had escaped to in a rapid pursuit. It turned through the corridors, crawled over the floor, chased them as it drew a beautiful curve. No one could block the guided shots of the Schuster sisters. No one could escape from them, and their strength could pierce all physical and magical defenses. What? What, is she summoning her boss monster card? She got the synchros? It was quite a merciless guided weapon of certain death. However, among mythical class soldiers, it was a weapon used by pretty much everyone. It was very commonplace for them, and very extraordinary for those of the everyday world. When he noticed something rapidly chasing them and turned around, the exact position of Rudolph's heart was pierced by the gold snake. It all happened in an instant. After the gold snake pierced Rudolph, it swooped down to the floor, drawing a beautiful spiral, coiled itself around Kyrie's legs, and crawled up to her chest. Yeah, you got the aimbot. And just like Rudolph, it pierced the exact location of her heart. And all of that happened in an instant. It pierced Rudolph and then Kyrie, so they died, dropped to their knees, and fell over at almost the exact same time. I guess shotguns aren't as effective on those two.
私ではこういう家具が向いてるわ。先代様の中古家具とは大違い。さあ、二人の死体をここへ。飽きるまで何度でも蘇らせて、思いつく限りの残虐な殺し方を試してやるの。
She's having a good time. Good for her. You love to see a girl boss winning. Are you done? Okay. From the time humans are born, the most shunned action they can take is the murder of another human. It's only natural that humans can't understand how pleasurable it can be to break this taboo. But she was no longer a human. She was a witch, and there was some pleasures that only witches could understand. By now, she had tasted those pleasures and was totally immersed in them. After learning that the contents of the forbidden pot were honey, she could no longer live without them. No, maybe the contents were honey because they were forbidden. Good old forbidden fruit, the tastiest kind. And by killing humans gruesomely and doing it over and over, she could feel the drug-like pleasure even now. As the witch rolled over laughing, the gold snake that had just been shot returned as though being reeled in. At the tips, 2 people were pinned and dragged along. Just a tip. The witch's order had been fulfilled. Rudolph and Kyrie had been killed instantly, and their corpses had been carried back.
Siesta 45-410命令遂行を完了しました。大ベアトリーチェ卿の次の命令を待ちます。どうかご命令を。赤ん坊のおもりからネトゲのお相手。
Wait, I wanna summon people that play online games with me. Wait, I can already do that. It's all of you!
こいつらは第4の番と第5の番の生贄らしいの。だから最後には役立たずの7姉妹。
Oh yeah, you 2 of them got shot.
こいつらを額と胸に刺してえぐらなくちゃならない。でもそれを最後にすればいいんであって、それまで
It seems like a weird loophole in the Twilights. Feels like breaking the rules. There she is. I was wondering when she was going to intervene.
おや、これは先
輩。おや。
何か文句でもおありですか？
あるに決まっておろうが、そなたはやりたい放題ではないか。なぜにわらわの言いつけが聞けぬのか。
Nobody's listening to me anymore.
問題があるのですか、先代様。それに私は儀式のルールを逸脱しようなんて気持ちはこれっぽっちもありません。ちゃんとこの2人の死体を後できれいにして額と胸に杭を打ち込んでおきますから。
そういう問題ではないというに。
Is it?
あまりに品がなかったり残酷だったりするとだな。
You just mean Battler. You just want Battler to talk to you again.
先代様がどこかで戦っているとかいうゲームの相手ですか？どの目に聞きました？
Renova, you're such a gossipy bitch.
正直に言うとそういうわけだ。ちょっと目に余ると、講義を受けてな。
先代様にわざわざ伝言などさせず、直接講義にい
The
らっしゃればいい
Beatrice
のに。
messaging machine.
臆病な方です。
こことは異なる世界の住人だからの。わらわを返さねばならぬのだ。まあとにかくだな。
ということは、その方は私に何か干渉したくてもできない。そして私も干渉したくてもできない。
Uh-oh.
それくらいに遠い世界の無縁な方との認識でよろしいですか？
I simply choose not to care.
例えるなら、とても近い2本の平行線の世界とでも言おうか。とても身近な世界なのだが、平行線ゆえに2本の線が交わることは決してない。そんな世界と、とりあえずは認識してくれればよい。
交わらないということは、私とは関係ない世界のこと。
Yeah, exactly. I
ということです。
don't have to care what's going on with you. It's not
も
about,
し
it's
その
about
方の
me.
代弁で私に自重しろとおっしゃられてるのでしたら、その方に交互伝言をお願いします。
あやつにか？なんと伝える？
余計なお世話だよ、消えろよババア。へそでもかんで死んじゃえば。
Owned.
失礼しました。先代のお友達でしょうから、多分女性だろうと想像しただけです。ババアと言っても決して
Definitely not you. Don't. No, not you.
どうかご容赦ください。
She got trolled. When she spoke, the witch was looking straight into Beato's eyes. Anyone present would be able to tell what she meant by it.
先代様、とても不思議に思うことがあります。どうして先代様はその別世界の方と
It's
ゲ
a
ー
little
ム
bit.
を
It's
し
just
て
for funsies.
魔女だと認めてもらわなければならないのですか？
それはだな。すべての人間に魔女の存在を認めさせることが、完全一人頑固者がおってな。どうあってもわらわを魔女とは認めんのだ。
どうしてその人間の認可が必要なのですか？魔女が魔女であり、魔法を振るうことにどうして人間に
She's kind of spitting right
があ
now.
るのですか？
だからな、前にも話した通り、魔法という
私は魔女です。別に誰の認可がなくとも魔法が使えますが、何か？
I think you're making up bullshit, predecessor sama.
この世界ではな。しかしだな、それをあやつが認めない以上は
She's totally just been making stuff up this whole time. This isn't even how it works, isn't it? She's just been lying to Battler about the entire precedent for their game.
だって決して交わることのない別世界の話じゃありませんか。それはつまりない世界も同じということです。別世界でゲームで戦っていると、先代様が妄想を語っていることと何にも変わりません。重ねて言います。私と関係ない話です。そして私はもう魔女です。先代様はどうやらその何者かに認めてもらえないと魔女になれないようです。
I'm built different.
私誰に認められずとももう立派な魔女です。先代ということであなたに形式的な敬意は捧げますが、それは私の行為であって義務ではありません。もう私はあなたの助言など求めていないし、これからどうすればいいか、どう遊べばいいかはっきり分かってます。
This has gotten maybe a bit out of hand, hasn't it, Beato?
だから13人殺しの儀式まではあなたへの最後の敬意だと割り切って行います。しかしそのやり方やその後のことについてはあなたに口出しされる言われは
I
全
think
く
maybe
あり
you've
ませ
lost
ん。
a little bit of control of the
そういうこと
situation.
で一つよろしくお願いします。
At a glance, those words seemed obedient, but they contained within them a clear parting of ways. She was no longer under Beato's care in any way. That's why she was clearly saying that nothing more than don't get in the way of my fun. Beato understood that and was dejected, realizing that no matter how she explained it, she wouldn't be able to make the witch understand.
そうか。ならばわらはもう知らぬぞ。魔法は敬いの気持ちなくして存在できぬことを身をもって知るがいい。
あなたがこれまでに縦横無尽に暴れてきたそれが
After hearing that, Beato could not respond. She has no response. Because she remembered hearing exactly the same thing from her teacher.
シエスタの姉妹先代がお帰りよお見送り
先代様どうぞこの場はお引き取りを
She's being, like, tossed out by the bouncers. She's being escorted out. Throughout her body, Beato felt something unseeable from the Chester sisters, which could only be described as an oppressive sensation. Most likely, they were initiating firing calculations. It was an action much like taking out a gun and cocking it. Even Beato could not escape from the Chester sisters' attack without any preparation. In the past, she had placed her greatest trust in them, so she knew how terrifying they were down to her very soul.
先代様、お引き取りを。これ以上、ベアトリーチェ様のご機嫌
Yeah, this is looking pretty bad for you, Beatrice.
先代様
わらわはこれにて退場する。そなたがどのような顛末をたどるか、ゆっくり鑑賞させてもらおうぞ。
It was almost infinitely close to a parting shot. I wonder how this is gonna work the game now, because, like, the whole point is that Beatrice is doing these murders. Well, I guess they're both Beatrice, so whatever. So after Beato vanished, the witch and her furniture doubled over laughing. I didn't think the pig one was capable of laughing.
まあ、わかる。無限の力は楽しい。有限の極みである命を自在にもてあそぶ快楽は、味わったことのないものには説明できぬ。その快楽に取りつかれる気持ち、わかろうか。
Don't do magic, kids. Remember your DARE program.
かつてのあなたのはしゃぎぶりを見る限り
What is this, Beata? Is this character development?
あれがかつて何度も悟そうとしたお師匠様と、それに耳を重ねわらわの姿だという。
なぜあの子の行為を咎める気になったのですか
Beatrice is like, oh no, I'm becoming Virgilia. I'm becoming my mom.
それは
あなたにはあの子と大きな違いが一つあります。あの子はすでに魔女かもしれない。もちろんあなたも魔女です。ゲーム版の上の世界では。しかしゲーム版の外の世界で魔女だと認められるには、ゲームの対戦者であるバトラ君に認めてもらわなくてはならない。
Beatrice doesn't have any such
あなたは
restraints.
それを理解してゲームを始
Yeah,
めたはず
you're the one who made this. You put yourself in this
魔
position.
女である証拠を暴風のように見せつけ、わらわを拒否する気持ちを吹き飛ばし、屈服させればわらわを魔女と認めると思った。前回うまくいきかけたので、もう一息だと思ったのだ。
You got cocky.
実際は逆です。バトラ君はあなたの残忍さに呆れ果てていました。そしてゲームの対戦者として登壇したのは、
You kind of just forced him to by murdering his entire family.
残忍な魔女の存在を一切認めないという強い敵意に基づいてです。愚かなあなたはバトラ君が対戦者の自覚を持ってくれたことを、自分を魔女だと認めさせる第一歩のように感じていたのでしょう。でも実際は全くの逆。バトラ君はあなたを魔女だと絶対に認めないためにあなたのゲームに挑んだのです。浅はかな北風がいくら吹きつけようと、旅人はマントをより深く
Yes, the sun and the wind
あな
analogy.
たは大き
I
な
remember
間違い
this from
を
earlier.
最初から犯しているのです。このゲームはバトラ君を屈服させる拷問などではない。あなたがバトラ君に認めてもらうために努力する試練なのです。
うすうすはよ、
気づいてた。
前回はバトラ君にとって辛いゲームでした。しかしもう気づいたようですね。今回はあなたに
I know you're in a precarious position here.
わらわはこれからどうすればいいのだ。
あなたが自分で考えるのです。
I'm not helping you, bitch.
幸いにもあなたはもうゲーム版の駒を降りて
I know she's in charge
新しい魔
now.
女に委ねました。
That's probably not good.
じっくりと自らについて思案する時間があるでしょう。
バトラはもう
He's so mean to me now. He won't be my friend anymore.
魔女は認めない。そしてわらわも認めない。それでどうやってバトラに認めてもらうんだよ。北風でダメなら今からのこのこ太陽で照らせっていうのか。
Should I try being nice?
わらわが今さら。
今は10月。
Is it? I guess it is, yeah.
ハロウィンの季節ですね。太陽が死に再び蘇る再生の月です。蘇ったばかりの弱々しい太陽は冬の木枯らしに遠く及ばないでしょう。しかしじっくりと成長し、やがては春の訪れを告げることができる。その時旅人はマントを畳むこともあるかもしれない。
わらわ間違ってるというのか。
Me mistaken? I think that is where we'll have to stop for tonight. Slightly shorter than last time, but as we all know, I've got things to prepare for on Friday. That's why there won't be a stream tomorrow, because on Friday, we're doing my 2-year VTuberversary subathon, so please look forward to that. There will be, as usual, information on the Twitter and in the Discord, so be sure to follow those things so that you can get in on that action. It will be a lot of fun. There will be many events for us to partake in together, you and I, all of you chat members and followers out there. I had a great time with this part of Umineko. It's been very interesting, to say the least. Lots going on with baby Eva stealing Beatrice's place in the game. So now she just has to sit back and try to make Battler like her again. Will it work? We'll have to find out next time. Until then, go raid ours. He's playing Bloodborne, and Bloodborne is cool. Good night, and I'll see you on Friday.